Boom, boom, gat, boom, 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 gat. They wonder how I dance like that. 2 steps forward, then I'll be right back. Pop it, lock it, drop it, pop it, lock it, drop it. Boom, boom, gat, boom, boom, gat. They wonder how I dance like that. 2 steps forward, then I'll be right back. Pop it, lock it, drop it, pop it, lock it, drop it. Pop it, lock it, drop it, pop it, lock it, drop it. Pop it, lock it, drop it, pop it, lock it, drop it. Pop it, lock it, drop it, pop it, lock it, drop it. Boom, boom, gat, boom, 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 gat. They wonder how I dance like that. 2 steps forward, then I'll bring it right back. Pop it, lock it, drop it, pop it, lock it, drop it. Boom, boom, gat, boom, boom, gat. They wonder how I dance like that. 2 steps forward, then I'll bring it right back. Pop it, lock it, drop it, pop it, lock it, drop it. Pop it, lock it, drop it, pop it, lock it, drop it. Pop it, lock it, drop it, pop it, lock it, drop it. Pop it, lock it, drop it, pop it, lock it, drop it. They wonder how I dance like that. 2 steps forward, then I'll bring it right back. Pop it, lock it, drop it. Pop it, lock it, drop it. Boom, boom, yeah. Yeah. They wonder how I dance like that. 2 steps forward, then I'll bring it right back. They wonder how I dance like that. 2 steps forward, then I'll bring it right back. Pop it, lock it, drop it. Pop it, lock it, drop it. Boom, boom, yeah. Boom, boom, yeah. They wonder how I dance like that. 2 steps forward, then I'll bring it right back. Pop it, lock it, drop it. 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 Pop it, lock it, drop it.
I wish I could play all the other music all the time. I wish I didn't have to always just quit. I would love to show you the music I love. But YouTube's assholes. You get copyright for fucking everything. And I do break the rules sometimes, but it hurts my channel. Um, okay. So I have 2 videos up here I've yet to finish. This one is 6 hours fucking long. So we're going to go through it a little at a time. I already went through, an hour and a half of this. We're going to listen for a little bit. And then I'm going to go back to where I ended last night. We have like 38 minutes left of Karen's interview. And then I can move on. What I really want to start covering is Cher and Benny and Lips. They had some lives on there, but I think that the suspects in the neighborhood take precedence over the shit we've been hearing forever. I find it funny that Ryan's over in Cher's now, like they're best buddies with Karen Elliott and Nana for life, which is odd because they weren't in Cher's at the beginning of Summer's case when the We Can Bring You Hope people came aboard. And I was recently asking Cher if she would like to do a panel with me where we talk about just We Can Bring You Hope. We put our differences aside. She said, yeah. And then she started blocking me and playing fucking games and never came on panel and never responded to me. So I don't fucking know. I would like to know, since she was extremely involved during the We Can Bring You Hope 501c3 from up here in Pittsburgh that was involved in Summer's case, pushing tips to them instead of to the TBI, putting wrong police numbers on their thing, having hot mic moments online. I just think Cher and Benny and anybody who had contact with them people need to come out and talk about exactly what it was and the story behind We Can Bring You Hope coming into Summer's case. I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but I find things odd when funny things happen. Just my opinion. Okay. So let's listen to a good 15, 20 minutes of this, and then we'll jump right into Karen.
You wanted me off YouTube. I'm off YouTube. After this, I have no reason. I'm trying to get you guys to leave me alone. That's why my channel is gone. Can you take a hint? So, I mean, what else is there to do? Like I said, you're trying to get us to like hurt ourselves. Because what other purpose is there?
So Ziggy came live after this. Benny did a video about this. Jody's been talking about it. Lots of people have been talking about Ziggy saying this. Ziggy came back live after this and said she was not threatening to unalive herself or hurt herself or harm herself or Fred. However, the thing is, Ziggy, to us, that's a threat. And it's something a lot of people who have lived through take serious. And I don't think it's a joke to even fool around with saying something like that. And like I said, if you're really feeling that way, let's start. Or if anybody is feeling this way, let's start this live the right way. Call or text or chat 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Hours are available 24/7 and the cost is free. It's also confidential. Text HOME to 741-741 to reach a trained crisis counselor through Crisis Text Line, a global non-for-profit organization. It's 24/7 free and confidential. I'm not saying Ziggy feels this way because Ziggy's saying she doesn't. However, I don't think she should threaten her audience or anybody on YouTube with the unaliving of her and Fred. So what I'm going to do is just let her talk past this. I'm going to put it on 1.5 because I have nothing more to say about it. I've talked about it for the last 3 days. I don't think it's a fucking joke, to say the least. I'm going to put this on 1.5 and I'll come back when she's done threatening her audience that she's going to unalive herself.
It's just not anything I want to be a part of anyways anymore. You know what I mean? I really don't.
Then leave.
So I'm going to ask these people again to please leave us alone, and we will not be speaking.
I would say then leave. That's what I was saying, then leave. But here's the problem, Ziggy. You married a neighbor of Summer Wells, who at the time was addicted to meth, who went to jail for meth, who was set up by the police to go to jail for meth, who was questioned in 2 unalivings, who has taken lie detector tests, who has been questioned about Summer Wells, who has rode around with the FBI card team and pointed out areas of interest in the case of Summer Wells, who has accused Cotton Simpson and Andy Bernard and everybody else in the Ben Hill fucking area of taking this little girl. You inserted yourself in this case bigger than any other YouTube creator out here. It's disgusting, and I don't quite understand why you did it. And I don't think that if you want to be left alone, you know how to make that happen. All you have to do is hit the delete button and never come back to YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or any social medias. Go under a different name, change your picture. Leave it. Wait for the police to come get Fred, and then we'll watch it be on the news. Because I have a feeling that that's going to happen. And I have a feeling that you're going to go with him because of the games you fucking played, or you're involved. And that's my opinion. I'm speculating. I don't like the fact that you married a suspect 4 months after you told his wife you were there for her too. Mother of his children, maybe not married, but common law. They was together for 20 some fucking years. Like, make it make sense.
On you guys.
But they do this and want us to leave them alone, but want to put out videos like this and not expect a response, you know?
Yeah, I mean, come on. Like, we're not going to defend ourselves and try to tell the truth. Like, you know what I mean? But then they get mad when they hear the truth because it's not how they want it to be. I'm sorry. It's not.
But that's your truth. Ziggy, you're saying it's your truth. However, we have a right to talk about what you're saying. You can't put videos out like this, like Fred said, and expect us not to respond to what's being said, especially Fred as a suspect in the Summer Wells case that you married as a YouTube creator, psychic, acrylic nail doer, resin maker, yard seller, all the things you've done in order to collect money in Summer's name, even for Fred's underwear. You know, like, I don't know.
But then all of a sudden it's lying because it's not what you want it to be. That's just not how it works. You know, we wouldn't even have to be, Fred, you have a microphone on. Oh, he took off. As I say, he went to the bathroom. But yeah, we wouldn't even be discussing this. None of this stuff would be coming up about Karen. But guess what? Now that she's brought attention to herself again, you guys, you're going to see the stuff I have on her. Like, I have absolute proof of her committing fraud. She's the only one that benefited off their parents' death. And then she's on here putting suspicions onto Fred. But yet she filed a fraudulent document with that same son that she got involved in teen crime or into the home invasion stuff as a juvenile. The same one. She involved him again in another crime. And how did it help her file a fraudulent document on 165 without Julie or Fred knowing?
Do you see how much she knows about their history? It's almost as if she's known about it for a long time. Summer's case has been going on for 5 years. Ziggy and Fred have now been married. They're over the honeymoon phase. It'll be 2 years soon. I forget what month they got married. But Ziggy knows a lot about the land, about the family dynamics, about who fights with who, about Fred's charges. Listen to her. Do you want me to tell them about when you was a teenager? I mean, she literally just did it. How does Ziggy know all of that quickly, as if she's been involved in it her whole life?
No death because of that.
Oh, she's saying that he was abusive towards her.
I've never seen Jason be abusive towards her. She always claimed he was, but I've never seen it. And I was around Jason quite a bit.
Yeah. So, yeah. I don't think you don't see us going. If you need to, I don't know. We might.
Smoke a cigarette.
I'm trying to think how to do this here.
I'm gonna go step out this for a second.
Well, here we'll take a break. We'll go outside with Fred. But keep your. We'll take a break from this. This is going to obviously be a long stream. I thought about, getting off here for a little bit and then restarting back up. Yeah, absolutely. I can't even imagine saying I hate Nana for life. I just can't imagine saying I hate anybody from YouTube. Guys, these people are hateful, evil people. Like you, I mean, I've never heard Fred say he hates somebody.
Siggy, I've heard you use the word hate a lot. It would be more tasteful for you to say I dislike. I try. I use the word hate. We all fucking do. Hate is hate. However, do I really hate anybody? No, but I don't think it's like a big deal. I don't know why you make these things. What we want to know is Fred's relationship with Dawn and Candace and about Summer. This is all distraction. How does Nana know Ellie? How does Nana know Glenda? Because even in Ryan's interview, Glenda said, if it wasn't for Nana for life, I wouldn't even have met these nice people. They knew each other prior. I want to know why Ziggy and Fred, something that leads me to believe they may not be guilty, is sometimes I'll talk about things, but it's after things that Ziggy brings up, like Bill Benton and Vicky Dykes. I think they need to be looked into. But if you notice, none of the other creators like Jody and Six Up and Nana for Life or any of those people that live in the Ben Hill area will cover the people that are being said they were up on the hill. Ryan's going out. I think Ryan did a great job interviewing Karen and interviewing Glenda. I think we finally needed to see that. However, I don't understand why it took so long to come out. That's just my opinion on it, especially after Glenda and Karen Renfro are so fucking close together. And Karen's been out here in some of our chats. She's messed with White Boy and Noel and their relationship, their marriage very early on. I have proof of that. White Boy and Noel don't like when I bring that up. I don't know why. It's odd to me. But there was a fight between Noel and Karen Renfro at the beginning of all of this. Then there was Karen Renfro and her obsession with Benny. Let me see if I could pull my... Give me 1 minute here, guys. Oh, my little thing I made today. I felt like editing a little, but it wasn't a major edit. But happy Mother's Day, everybody. Okay, let's add a page. Let's go to projects. Oh. Well, what do you know? I just found all of our messages. I'm going to leave that there for later because I didn't have them all yesterday. I only read some of them. Now I have everything. Okay. That's in projects. Let's go to folders. Images. This was all over when Benny was getting a divorce. I don't want to dox a kid. She had all of this crazy shit on her Facebook. She had tons and tons of pictures of Benny and his divorce with his wife, as if she was glad he was getting a divorce. She took images and pictures and put them all over her thing. Then when you go to her YouTube, she has created playlists, but until I called her fucking card, she only had some music. But she has a full, she saves Benny like no.
Hot diggity dog. Man. Oh, don't do that. Golly.
You guys will have to come search. She's added a lot of shit to her page. I know somewhere along the lines I have images of her YouTube. And at one time it was just a folder of Benny and everything about Benny's divorce. She had Doug. She had added Doug. Then after I called her out, she started adding more content. I see something I want to look at. Oh, she shared an after Michelle After Dark live. That's not okay. So she had a picture. That's what the image at the beginning of that thumbnail looked like at one time on her page when her son had the video of Beach Creek. I don't know the angle of it. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that. But anyways, it just is very odd to me that all of these people that haven't been here since the beginning of summers, 5 years in near the 5 year mark, are now willing to go see Ryan. Jody Sue did a 10-hour live yesterday. I didn't even have time to watch a fucking hour of it yet. However, the part I left off at, she's speaking about Ryan and his past and his history. Tiffany Marie, 2 or 3 years ago, also did a live on Ryan Dubé about his past, his history, his documentaries, his Pinterest, all of the things he did prior to come into Summer's case. And I think that it's worth watching because I truly believe Ryan is out here as a fucking clout chaser, and he would be willing to talk to anybody, even suspects, and then take them in. I think his Serafina connection with Jen and he's not psychic. I don't believe in psychics. I hate psychics. Turned into, wait, my wife is psychic. She took a class for Donna Serafina. And then coming out as a guest on Ziggy's panel where he was like forcing Ziggy to go visit Fred in jail. And when he couldn't because Fred got in trouble for the chirp, he wasn't allowed to visit. There were stipulations. Ryan got mad and started throwing tantrums and attacking Ziggy and joining Six Up. And it just doesn't make sense to me. Thank you, Earl. See you being here from the beginning. Well, I haven't been here from the beginning. I didn't really start paying attention to Summer's case till July of 2021. And it was on Facebook. I stayed in Facebook for months, and then I started to learn about YouTube as people were sharing videos. And that's when I started joining the YouTube community, probably like late July, August of 2021. And I started my YouTube channel in November. However, it was still early enough on that I was able to catch up on all the shit from the first month of summer being gone quickly. You know what I mean? And I was in a lot of the early chats, like in Libby, Nita, cracking cases, Ziggy. So, and I think Tiffany was, Benny was. There's still a lot of creators out here that were, but they come out here and cause confusion. They don't call out the funny shit. And that's what's driving me crazy. Instead, they gang up and they become friends. Like Tiffany Marie, did you think 5 years ago she would ever approve of Ziggy and Fred being married after showing them bones? Those of you that have been here from the beginning. Now they're acting like they're inseparable, and it don't make no fucking sense to me at all. That's my opinion, and I'm calling it out. It's fucking weird as fuck. But let's listen a little more. And you can see, like in this live, Tiffany is in Fred's channel. They're talking on the phone. They tell you Ziggy has taken on a persona of Tiffany Marie. She's starting to act like Tiffany Marie a little bit, in my opinion. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, I do think it is helpful, and maybe he has like said he has.
I mean, I don't even like tell somebody bye, because I don't like it word. I always say I'll see you later or whatever like that.
But there's a lot of crazy claims in this video, guys. Like absolutely disgusting things. Right now she's just talking about herself, and stuff that came out after she came to fucking YouTube to try to ruin Fred's life and try to paint him as some kind of suspect. Which we've never had law enforcement say that at all. That's completely a YouTube thing. We don't know who the suspects are, except everybody's a suspect, right? They don't want, so it's so irresponsible. And Ryan's just definitely up, paying narrative. At the same time he's doing this, guys, he's trying to send me a cease and desist and acting like I'm running from it. Why do I care about it?
First, to fuck off, Siggy, you threatened Ryan and Six Up with a fucking lawsuit that you said is ongoing. Did you not have the money to pay for it? Did you not file it correctly? Did you show us fake shit? Because Ryan sent you a cease and desist because you threatened a lawsuit like you always do first. I don't quite understand your lawsuits, and I don't quite understand the cease and desist. We're all here for the common goal. Fred is a suspect in Summer's case. We want Summer found. Why are y'all separating and fighting and causing all this fucking mayhem and chaos when you could come together and talk if people have questions? I don't understand the confusion. You the other day took on Jody Sue's word, the confusion crew. You know what? I think you all are the fucking confusion crew, because none of this makes sense to me, and it doesn't seem to me that any of you are out here for the common good of finding this missing child who's really missing. Really. It's games.
A cease and desist. Please tell me. I don't talk about him, so I have no problem with a cease and desist. Ryan, I'm not going to talk about you, okay? You can stop talking about me and Fred in these slanderous ways. Like, it's one thing, there's a lot of people that do videos on us, but it's quite different when somebody is going to this extreme, contacting businesses, contacting my family, I mean, these people, Ryan and this woman right here, Karen, have been in chats where it's being encouraged, and where they're encouraging people to call, like, CPS and Fred's probation. Like, how many times does Fred have to get called into probation, or CPS have to show up here that you guys get a clue?
They ain't gonna catch me slipping.
I know, it's like so
They think
crazy.
they're gonna get me in trouble
And
on a
dude, we
touchdown
have our
or
neighbors come up to Fred and be like, "Oh, there was somebody asking me about you." Or they were like, they've got high.
Why are you worried about them catching you slipping, number one? And the accusation Ziggy made at the beginning of Summer's case about Fred's sisters, like bath salts and pewing and all this other crazy shit, Ziggy, you started it. Like, there's no fucking backing out of that. We know fact. They weren't even on YouTube publicly that we seen while you were starting it. It's like you were calling them out to come fight with you for content. My opinion.
Hired like PIs and shit. Like, I mean, I don't know what the fuck is going on. One of the neighbors said that somebody was asking them about
Question them about what kind of
person
I
Fred was.
Yes.
It's crazy to me. Like, they're so, and it's like, why, if things are that bad and he's such a horrible person, then why are we having to go out of our way to try to make him slip up, or try to get me in trouble? Like, I want to be left alone. You guys said you wanted me off YouTube. I'm off YouTube. After this, I have no reason. I'm trying to get you guys to leave me alone. That's why my channel is gone. Can you take a hint?
Except right after this, you put like 4 or 5 videos up. One video for a couple days, then 4 or 5. Then you put all your content back with some content missing. You're not gone. Ziggy, this was your introduction back. You wanted people to watch you. You thought people would come hear what you had to say because you disappeared for a week with this fake lawsuit you're throwing against Ryan, in my opinion. And then he's sending these ceases and desists. Like, it's... Why is everything about lawsuits here on YouTube? Why is that the threat? Why can't it be we're working together for a common denominator at the end, which is
We're following breaking news, an Amber Alert now issued by the TBI for a missing 5-year-old girl.
Enjoyed some nice change out there today. Low humidity once again. We're talking some potential record lows tonight. Details straight ahead.
This is breaking news from News Channel 11.
Right now, the search continues for Summer Wells, the missing 5-year-old girl from Rogersville. And breaking news this afternoon, that endangered child alert now upgraded to an Amber Alert by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. You're watching News Channel 11 at noon. I'm Sydney Kessler. 5-year-old Summer Wells has not been seen since last night. Agents from both the TBI and the FBI are investigating along with local authorities. Wells is roughly 3 feet tall, weighing 40 pounds with blonde hair and blue eyes. She was last seen wearing gray pants and a pink shirt. Now, she was reportedly last seen outside of her home in the area of Ben Hill Road and Beach Creek Road. Both crews have been searching on foot and with helicopters since last night. News Channel 11's Kate Nemrich joins us now live with the very latest details. Kate, what do we know so far?
Sydney, an Amber Alert was issued for 5-year-old Summer Wells just about an hour ago. Around that time, we started seeing helicopters circling once again, searching for her. Now, the road, Ben Hill Road, where she lives and was reportedly last seen, remains closed at this time. Ainsley Daniels is also on scene with me, and she just drove past that scene a few minutes ago, where there are plenty of emergency responders present. The TBI, FBI, Hawkins Sheriff's Office, Hawkins Emergency Rescue, Kingsport Life Saving Crew, Bristol Fire, and many more. We're a few miles down the road at Solomon's Temple Baptist, where they have placed balloons in their prayer garden for Summer. They say Summer and her family used to attend this church, and she and her siblings did programs here.
She's a sweetheart. She's just a tiny little thing, and we all love her to death, and just hoping that everything turns out to the good here today.
Daughtry hopes to release the balloons once Summer is found. They are planning a prayer vigil for later this afternoon, but at this time they have not released the details. Again, this has been upgraded to an Amber Alert. 5-year-old Summer Wells has been missing since last night. Live in Sullivan County, Kate Nemrich, News Channel 11.
Kate, thank you. Now, take another good look at this photo here of 5-year-old Summer Wells. A few photos there running on your screen right now. Anyone who has information about this little girl's whereabouts is asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND, or you can email a tip to tbi@tn.gov. We've also have all of this information posted on our website. That's where we'll also post any updates and details to WG.
That's what's important, Ziggy. You and Ryan, now Bullhorn Betty is over there in Sebastian's case. Just filed another fucking lawsuit against the parents, the step parent and the parent. I don't know all the details. I seen the thumbnails, turned something on for 2 seconds last night. Betty, you're gaining weight again. I don't understand why, when we're all out here looking for a missing child, why there has to be all this animosity and fighting and low blows, and that's never going to find said missing child. But you go ahead, Ziggy and Fred.
So, I mean, what else is there to do? Like I said, you're trying to get us to like hurt ourselves, because what other purpose is there? Shouldn't have to leave. Well, I don't see any. I mean, honestly, I don't. It's just not anything I want to be a part of, anyways, anymore. You know what I mean? I really, really don't. So I'm going to ask these people again to please leave us alone, and we will not be speaking on you guys.
But they do this and want us to leave them alone, but want to put out videos like this and not expect a response, you know?
Yeah, I mean, come on. Like, we're not going to defend ourselves and try to tell the truth. Like, you know what I mean? But then they get mad when they hear the truth because it's not how they want it to be. I'm sorry. It's not you. But then all of a sudden it's lying because it's not what you want it to be. That's just not how it works. You know, we wouldn't even have to be. Fred, you have a microphone on. Oh, he took off. As I say, he went to the bathroom. But yeah, we wouldn't have to. We wouldn't even be discussing this. None of this stuff would be coming up about Karen. But guess what? Now that she's brought attention to herself again, you guys, you're going to see the stuff I have on her. Like, I have absolute proof of her committing fraud. She's the only one that benefited off their parents' death. And then she's on here putting suspicions onto Fred. But yet she filed a fraudulent document with that same son that she got involved in teen crime, or into the home invasion stuff as a juvenile. The same one. She involved him again in another crime. And had him help her file a fraudulent document on 165 without Julie or Fred knowing, when Fred was in jail, when she was selling all his stuff. That Fred never.
And Julie was making the payments on the house and stuff. And then Karen let on like, oh, she had it fixed where nothing could be done with it.
Yeah, she completely like made it. And then, so tell me why would Karen file this document that I showed you guys, saying that she's the only heir of 165? Why did she do that? That's kind of weird.
And see, she
Tell me
was-
how Fred benefits off of you doing that. How does even your other sibling benefit? It's only you, Karen. Come on, it doesn't take us rocket scientists to figure out who the culprit is here. It's up to fuck shit. You're projecting everything that you're fucking doing onto Fred. Very money hungry here, but we gotta get.
Yeah, it's just low.
Okay, I think it's break time.
Yeah, I need cigarettes. Oh, here we go with the fake tears, dude. I can't with that. I didn't see one tear. Do you have your?
Long list of other claims. Okay. We'll focus on your mom for a little bit. Okay. So she got sick at some point, was beginning to, and she got sick. How long? She had end-stage COPD. She had COPD for years. At the end stage, when it got really bad, she was on oxygen. The last couple, maybe 3 years of her life, was probably the worst. That was when she really wasn't able to get out and do a lot. But the last, right before summer went missing, it was probably when she started getting the worst. She started having pneumonia a lot, having to go to the hospital. And this was going COVID. Yes, that was a danger. Yes, that's what Dad passed away of. It was COVID. He wasn't poisoned like they claimed, but Mom was in and out of the hospital multiple times. A long stint at any point? She would spend, 2 or 3 weeks in, a week to 2 weeks in ICU, and then they would step her down in the hospital. So when she went in, it was ICU. She would go in, intubated, not able to breathe for herself, things like that. It was pretty scary. They would step her down and she'd get off the breathing tube and stuff, and then eventually they would send her to like a rehab and nursing home for therapy and stuff, so she could go back home.
She knows so much about Mom. She'd only mentioned the lung cancer.
Hospital. Julie had it down there. She'd been home.
Wait, hold on.
And Julie had installed cameras in the house.
Oh, here she goes with the cameras.
Yeah.
That was really her that people were suspicious of, and she's putting it on you.
The only one didn't have a key to Mom and Dad's house was her, Karen, because she wasn't trusted by the family. That's the only one that didn't have a key. Julie had a key and I had keys.
Yeah, but it's Fred that was.
And I lived at both addresses.
Oh, she tried to act like you weren't welcome at 165. Like you said, we're allowed to be staying at 165.
Where was my mail coming to, Karen? You was getting out of the mailbox. 167.
Yeah, 167 and 165 are the same, guys.
Same address.
So sometimes if we say call it 167 or call it 165, that's why.
And Mom received her mail at 207.
Feed her animals or whatever she had to do, she could still kind of keep an eye on her, make sure she was okay. Because Julie, she lived in Reservoir Road, so that's just 20 minutes tops, 15, 20 minutes, tops.
I mean, of course, you got to put out your freaking. Why you got to put your sister out like that? But I mean, of course, I wouldn't expect you to be. You don't care about anybody but yourself.
Mom had a twin-size bed in the living room. That's where that way she had easier access to things because she was on the oxygen and the long cord and stuff. She really. It just gave her more access if she wanted to go to the back room or go make her a cup of coffee or something. She could get there, easily. Julie was your sister? Yes. She would check the camera often? Okay. If there was any movement or anything, she'd get a notification. She got a notification? Yes. Yeah. So just in case Mom got up and was lightheaded or fell or anything, it was just a good precautionary thing to have. Sometimes. Did anyone else, Laura, anyone else ever go? I think Laura rode with Julie one time. She was there for about 15 minutes, and she dipped out when Ziggy pulled up to pick her up. That was a January. The only time Laura ever went to the hospital was that one. Well, she didn't go with Mom. She actually just rode with Julie and then got out of there as quick as she could. Did you tell us about that incident? Oh, yeah, Ziggy picked her up. That was the weekend that Ziggy didn't say she didn't get to record any interviews or conversations with Fred. She did post a video of the drive with her.
Okay, first of all, Tiffany's in here, and Tiffany knows Tiffany. Remember that when my my recording with Fred didn't record and how upset I was over it? And I don't even think that was the right timing that she's saying. January of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, their mom was in the hospital. I did pick up Laura. What's the big fucking deal?
And the only time Karen would go to the hospital if Julie would take and pay her to go to the hospital and sit with Mom.
Yeah, she had to always be paid to do anything for the fucking her parents. She couldn't be bothered.
Laura down Wilcox Lone Star Road, you could hear on the video her talking about street signs, so I know where she was at. Okay. But other than that, that was the only audio that she produced of that whole weekend. That was the weekend Mom was getting ready to be sent to rehab. Julie had went down there to get some clothes and stuff for Mom. And
I really doubt that's the only audio I ever have from that whole weekend.
In the bathroom, there was mud smeared everywhere, and there was a small white long-sleeve shirt laying there. That would fit a child.
Oh, no. Oh, no, there's a child shirt. So weird, the stuff she tries to fucking insinuate.
Probably Ziggy or Ziggy's daughter is what me and Julie had figured. Because after the fact, I believe Fred had told Julie that.
Why? Oh, it's a child's, but it's mine or my daughter's. My daughter was almost adult size then.
She could still kind of keep an eye on her, make sure she was okay. Because Julie, she lived in Reservoir Road, so that's just 20 minutes tops, 15, 20 minutes, tops.
I mean, of course, you got to.
So Ziggy just said, sorry, I went back a minute because I had to run to the bathroom and I can still hear in there. But Ziggy just said that she was down there. So what? Yes, I did pick Fred's mom up. When was that? January 2023? Yes, it was January 2023. Here's the problem with that, Ziggy. Wasn't Fred in jail in January of 2023? And did you tell your audience, can you show us a video where you showed your audience you were down there in January of 2023 while Fred was in jail? Somebody please correct me. Can somebody please get me the dates Fred was in jail? I'm almost positive that's about the time he went to jail, right? Somewhere around there. I could be wrong.
Put out your freaking, why you got to put your sister out like that? But I mean, of course, I wouldn't expect you to be, you don't care about anybody but yourself.
Mom had a twin-size bed in the living room. That's where, you know, that way she had easier access to things because she was on the oxygen and the long cord and stuff. She really, it just gave her more access if she wanted to go to the bathroom or go make her a cup of coffee or something. She could get there, you know, easily. She was your sister? Yes. She would check the camera often? Okay. If there was any movement or anything, she'd get a notification. She got a notification? Yes. Okay. Yeah. So just in case Mom got up and was lightheaded or fell or anything, you know, it was just a good cautionary thing to have. Sometimes. Did anyone else, Laura, anyone else ever go? I think Laura rode with Julie one time. She was there for about 15 minutes, and she dipped out when Ziggy pulled up to pick her up. That was a January. The only time Laura ever went to the hospital was that one. Well, she didn't go with Mom. She actually just rode with Julie and then got out of there as quick as she could. Can you tell us a bit about that incident? Oh, yeah, when Ziggy picked her up, that was the weekend that Ziggy didn't say she didn't get to record any interviews or conversations with Fred. She did post a video of the drive with her.
Okay, first of all, Tiffany's in here, and Tiffany knows Tiffany. Remember that when my my recording with Fred didn't record and how upset I was over it? And I don't even think that was the right timing that she's saying. January of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, their mom was, it was in the hospital. I did pick up Laura. What's the big fucking deal?
And the only time Karen would go to the hospital if Julie would take and pay her to go to the hospital and sit with Mom.
Yeah, she had to always be paid to do anything for the fucking her parents. She couldn't be bothered.
Laura down Wilcox or Lone Star Road, you know, you can hear on the video her talk about street signs, so I know where she was at. Okay. But other than that, that was the only audio that she produced of that whole weekend. That was the weekend Mom was getting ready to be sent to rehab. Julie had went down there to get some clothes and stuff for Mom. And she
I really doubt that's the only audio I ever had from that whole weekend.
In the bathroom, there was mud smeared everywhere, and there was a small white long-sleeve shirt laying in there that would fit a child.
Oh, no. Oh, no, there's a child shirt. So weird, the stuff she tries to fucking insinuate.
Probably Ziggy or Ziggy's daughter is what me and Julie had figured. Because after the fact, I believe Fred had told Julie that.
Why? Oh, it's a child's, but it's mine or my daughter's. My daughter was almost adult size then, 3 years ago. But it's a child shirt, but it's me or my daughter's. You are so fucking such a liar. It was a child's, and they're trying to fucking act like it's something suspicious, but then they say it's mine, which obviously I was bigger than too.
She thought it was Summer's shirt.
Yeah, like, I mean, come on.
The last time she spoke about it on Six Ups.
I have never been in the camper. Not one fucking time.
Ziggy's never been in the camper. She's never been inside my mom and dad's place. She did step inside the storage shed at 167 because I was there working on something inside.
Yeah.
When she
so I've never been inside
that's when
there.
I had that pink shirt on, and that was a bad day that day. And I didn't give a fuck what people thought of me at that time. It was a really bad day. One of my last days. And if Ziggy hadn't pulled up when she did, it would have been more part of my last day.
Yeah, and that's something we don't even talk about because these freaking hateful people like sit here and like make fun of us about fucking everything. And yeah, so you know, it was a depressing time at the time for
and a lot of it was the deals with a lot of Karen's bullshit and stuff with Mom and Dad and all that as well.
Real men wear pink. Fred don't. It was actually a red faded shirt, but
yeah, it was supposed to be red, but it had been sun faded.
Taking showers. I don't know what they were doing.
Oh yeah, I was taking a shower
down there most of the time.
Yeah, but she's trying to act like I was. You were so weird, dude.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into. Can you tell us a bit about that incident? Oh yeah, Ziggy picked her up. That was the weekend that Ziggy didn't say she didn't get to record any interviews or conversations with Fred. She did post a video of the drive with her.
Okay, first of all, Tiffany's in here, and Tiffany knows Tiffany, remember that when my recording with Fred didn't record, and how upset I was over it? And I don't even think that was the right timing that she's saying. January of 2023.
Tiffany shouldn't remember that because you and Tiffany were fighting and didn't talk back then. So why would Tiffany fucking remember that? Why do you always go to Tiffany to remember something? Like she has to back you the fuck up. I don't believe you there was a recording that didn't fucking record. I never fucking did.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, their mom was, it was in the hospital. I did pick up Laura. What's the big fucking deal?
And the only time Karen would go to the hospital if Julie would take and pay her to go to the hospital and sit with mom.
Yeah, she had to always be paid to do anything for the fucking her parents. She couldn't be bothered.
Laura down Lone Star Road, you know, you could hear on the video her talking about street signs, so I know where she was at. But other than that, that was the only audio that she produced of that whole weekend. That was the weekend. Mom was getting ready to be sent to rehab. Julie had went down there to get some clothes and stuff for Mom. And
I really doubt that's the only audio I ever had from that whole weekend.
In the bathroom, there was mud smeared everywhere, and there was a small white long-sleeve shirt laying in there that would fit a child.
Oh no! Oh no! There's a child shirt. So weird, the stuff she tries to fucking insinuate.
Probably Ziggy or Ziggy's daughter is what me and Julie had figured out. Because after the fact, I believe Fred had told Julie that.
Why? Oh, it's a child's, but it's mine or my daughter's. My daughter was almost adult size then, 3 years ago. But it's a child shirt, but it's me or my daughter's. You are so fucking such a liar. It was a child's, and they're trying to fucking act like it's something suspicious, but then they say it's mine, which obviously I was bigger than too.
I agree with that. Laura would be a size small. Ziggy, no. Not at all. And we also hear that the grandchildren, Karen's children, came to the property often. And there's also Julie's daughter. How big is she? I don't know. I've never seen a picture. But why is it's Ziggy's automatically? And let's remind you quickly, even though I've showed it a million times. Hold on, I gotta find it. Some other things that Karen Elliott has said about these clothes before we listen, because I didn't do this last night. Where is it? Just bear with me a second here, guys. Where the heck did I put these? It wasn't that far back. Here we go.
The only thing that I know about that is about 5 days after Summer went missing, I have went with Julie to get Mom and Dad's groceries, to get Mom's oxygen tank filled, and we had went to pick her prescriptions up and took them down to Dad's place at 165. And Mom asked me and Julie both to ride up to 207 where Fred was staying in her camper and to pick up her mail and to check on Fred. Well, we did, and Fred came out into the driveway, and we were asking him how if he was okay. So we were just up there to pick up Mom's mail, and he was talking about how he felt he was being set up. He said something about he found some little girl's clothes in a washing machine on the property, and that somebody had put a backpack at the top of the driveway that had meth making materials in them. That's all he said. And we asked him, well, did you tell the TBI? And the best I can remember, I believe he said yeah. So that's all I know about that. But I wasn't by myself. That was me and Julie standing there listening to him. Well, I don't know what all Ziggy has done on the hill. I know after Fred went to jail, they, I had to, the package and stuff up. I found a few things, and I called the sheriff's office to have them come out and look at it. And they kind of giggled like they already knew something. And mind you, when Ziggy came down in January of 23, she was on that property. But what I found tied up and hid away was a lingerie top and some stockings. And, it concerned me because that was just, that was around the same time that Layla had been missing. And I knew Fred was in jail, and I thought.
So did they just try to change the story? It was lingerie and stockings in January of 2023 when she went on 6 Ups about a year ago. Now it's a small shirt, but let's listen to what she says about the small muddy shirt. Her story changed.
Oh my gosh, why somebody has stashed something here? I mean, you don't know what to think. So I called Low and I recorded it and I came out and looked at it. And I said, oh, that's just where Fred was having a little side action. And he just didn't want Laura to know about it. So, considering I know it wasn't Laura's clothes, I don't know whose it was, but I do know Ziggy was on that property. Mom was in the hospital at the time. And how I know Ziggy was there is because when the ambulance was called for Mom, Julie actually convinced Laura to ride to the hospital with her and help her with Mom. But when Laura got to the hospital, she stayed down in the lobby. She was there for just a few minutes and she said, oh, I got a ride, I'm going. Guess who picked her up from the hospital? And Laura wouldn't stay to help with Mom. Ziggy picked her up.
What?
Yes, Ziggy picked her up. And while Mom was in the hospital, Ziggy was on 165 Ben Hill Road.
Damn, Ziggy.
And when Mom got out of the hospital, actually the day before Mom got to come home, Julie had went down to the house to get Mom some clothes to come home in. And she went in the house, and obviously the doors had been broken into. Somebody been in the house, which that was Fred, because Julie had cameras in Mom's in the house to help keep an eye on Mom. And she had already seen Fred on the cameras and stuff. But, the cameras had an ability to be cut off from time to time and then be cut back on. So somebody down there had to be doing it. But she found a little girl's white shirt in Mom's bathroom, and there was mud everywhere. A shirt that she had never seen before. Looked like something that a child would wear.
Wow.
And, that was in January. Fred goes to jail in June, and there was clothes hid in a bag. They were tied up.
So was it lingerie or was it a t-shirt? Because you just told us about lingerie and then you said it's when Layla went missing, but that's not true. Layla went missing in July, I believe. You said it was January 2023. So you tried to confuse it, and I would like to know more about the lingerie, but we will listen because I don't think you mentioned that with Ryan like you did with 6 Up. However, we're going to finish listening to you in a few minutes here. I just wanted to get through. We are at the 1 hour and 31 mark. I went a little further than I wanted to. I went a half hour. I wanted to do 20 minutes. So we're going to finish this video up. I'm going to let you continue. You can hear the story switching. You can go back and listen to what Ziggy said yourself. Her live is there. Come back and dispute me if you want. If I'm wrong, I'll admit I'm wrong. But I that's what I'm fucking hearing. There's something wrong here, just like there usually is. But I'm going to get right into the rest of Karen's interview and finish up my live. Or some of Karen's interview. I might not finish it. I might have to change the name of this.
Up in the bag and stuff down in the box.
Oh, and Patricia, happy Mother's Day, honey. That's why I'm trying to rush off. I'm going to be back later, whatever I don't finish. But my daughter's coming at 5, and I wanted to spend a little bit of time with her and stuff. So That's why I'm going to jump off for a little bit. But if I don't finish Karen, I'll be back tonight with the rest of her, and then we can move on tomorrow. Yep. That's what I'm saying. It's all everybody there always. Why are they coming out and changing their stories now? Here, I'm just going to let you guys re-listen to this video. I know it's redundant, but listen.
The only thing that I know about that is about 5 days after Summer went missing, I had went with Julie to get Mom and Dad's groceries, to get Mom's oxygen tank filled, and we had went to pick her prescriptions up and took them down to Dad's place at 155. And Mom asked me and Julie both to ride up to 207 where Fred was staying in her camper and to pick up her mail and to check on Fred. Well, we did, and Fred came out into the driveway, and we were asking him how if he was okay. So we were just up there to pick up Mom's mail, and he was talking about how he felt he was being set up. He said something about he found some little girl's clothes in a washing machine on the property, and that somebody had put a backpack at the top of the driveway that had meth-making materials in them. That's all he said. And we asked him, well, did you tell the TBI? And the best I can remember, I believe he said, yeah. So that's all I know about that. But I wasn't by myself. That was me and Julie standing there listening to him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know what else he has done on the hill. I know after Fred went to jail, I had when I was packing some stuff up, I found a few things, and I called the sheriff's office to have them come out and look at it, and they kind of giggled like they already knew something. And mind you, when Ziggy came down in January of 23, she was on that property. But what I found tied up and hid away was a lingerie top and some stockings. And, it concerned me because that was just, that was around the same time that Layla had been missing. And I knew Fred was in jail, and I thought, oh my gosh, what if somebody has stashed something here? I mean, you don't know what to think. So I called Lowe, and I recorded it, and they came out and looked at it, and I said, oh, that's just where Fred was having a little side action, and he just didn't want Laura to know about it. So, considering I know it wasn't Laura's clothes, I don't know whose it was, but I do know Ziggy was on that property. Mom was in the hospital at the time, and how I know Ziggy was there is because when the ambulance was called for Mom, Julie actually convinced Laura to ride to the hospital with her and help her with Mom. But when Laura got to the hospital, she stayed down in the lobby, or she was there for just a few minutes, and she said, oh, I got a ride, I'm going. Guess who picked her up from the hospital, and Laura wouldn't stay to help with Mom? Ziggy picked her up.
What?
Yes, Ziggy picked her up. And while Mom was in the hospital, Ziggy was on 165 Ben Hill Road.
Damn, Ziggy.
And when Mom got out of the hospital, actually, the day before Mom got to come home, Julie had went down to the house to get Mom some clothes to come home in. And she went in the house, and obviously the doors had been broken into. Somebody had been in the house, which that was Fred, because Julie had cameras in Mom's in the house to help keep an eye on Mom. And she had already seen Fred on the cameras and stuff. But, the cameras had an ability to be cut off from time to time and then be cut back on. Somebody down there had to be doing it. But she found a little girl's white shirt in Mom's bathroom, and there was mud everywhere. A shirt that she had never seen before. Looked like something that a child would wear.
Wow.
So she's saying the same day in January, she found lingerie, but Julie found a little girl's shirt. This all happened in January when Ziggy went to pick up the mom, even though Layla went missing in July. That's so weird. And that's why I don't trust Karen Elliott. Karen Elliott worked at the AmeriCorps at one time. She won't tell me when. I don't know exactly when to pinpoint it, but she admitted she worked there, and I have a call. It's really shitty. we could try to listen to it. I did a really horrible job recording it, and I tried to fucking fix it. But I actually had a phone call with the AmeriCorps. Let's see if you guys can understand it. I'm sorry if you can't, but try to get the best you can out of it. We talk a little bit about Karen in this call.
Hello.
Hi, this is Oh, that's okay. Is this the AmeriCorps in Kingsport, Tennessee at 1900 American Way? Hi, I'm calling. First, let me tell you before I go through that I am recording this call. I'm a YouTube creator. My YouTube channel's name is Crystal Crime and Music. But I'm calling because I have a few questions. I know that you had an employee around the time that Layla Santinella had gone missing that worked at your hotel, who was also a neighbor of Summer Moon Utah Wells that's missing in Kingsport. So her name is Karen Elliott. I was wondering, can you tell me how long Karen's been employed at your hotel?
Unfortunately, there's no Karen Elliott.
She's not employed there any longer? Okay, was she employed there when Layla went missing?
I myself am not exactly sure. I'm working at the location there.
Okay, do you know when she was fired? Or was she fired or did she quit? You know?
I'm not exactly sure. A lot of what I've heard from the other employees who have been here for a little bit is that a lot of people just leave.
This recording's so bad, I'm not going to put you through hell. I'll share if you guys want to try to fix it, you can. But I believe what she was telling me, this gets really interesting. There were a few families that lived in this hotel. I'll just go through what I remember. That had children, and it was odd for children to stay there. It was usually it was low income. They would move a lot of people that were on rugs and things of that nature in there. There was a lot of rug dealing back when Layla went missing. They changed the hotel up. This lady was new. She did believe Karen Elliott worked there when Layla went missing, but she wasn't sure. And that Karen no longer worked there now. She didn't know whether she was fired or quit. She went into the people who stayed there and lived there. Really, if you guys could fix that recording for me, anybody out there, it would be fucking greatly appreciated, because then I can go back and remember what she said. I'm going to try again. I promise you. I don't know. I can't get it. It was a really fucking bad recording, and she knew I was recording her. She gave me permission. So it sucks that it turned out that was like a flop for me. I apologize, but honestly, I gave you the link. Go listen to it, see what you can hear out of it. Let's go back to, where were we?
You know, I mean, that was in January. Fred goes to jail in June, and there was clothes hid in a bag. They were tied up in a bag and stuck down in a box, a Mountain Dew box, and the Mountain Dew box was stuck back in a burn barrel, and the door was shut on it.
Oh, man.
And the cops from Hoffman County Sheriff's Office, the detectives is the one that came out. There was 4 of them.
Before he went to jail, TP. That was before he went to jail. Yeah. Sorry.
And I found out the clothes after he went to jail, thinking, Fred's in jail. Who could have put these here? You know? Okay, well, the cops, after, having questioned Fred over a lot of things, the cops just all laughed and looked at each other and laughed, and one just kind of looked at me and snickered and said, I think it's okay. That's something Fred was probably having a little side action, and it ain't nothing to worry about. I said, oh, okay, well, cool, good. At least it ain't got nothing to do with the missing girl. Clothes that were found were soaking wet. So no, they looked like they had been washed, or I mean, they were soaking wet and put in the bag and tied up. No, they didn't have the lingerie and the stockings didn't have mud on them. Clothes that were found were stuff.
Go ahead, you can tell.
There was a white shirt, and I don't think it was a t-shirt. I actually think it was like t-shirt material that was long sleeve. But that was a child's shirt, not a small child, but you know, it was a size small.
Right.
And then the other clothes that was found was adult clothes. It was lingerie and stockings.
It was. She thought it was Summer's shirt.
Yeah, like I mean, come on.
The last time she spoke about it on Six Ups.
I have never been in the camper. Not one fucking time.
Ziggy's never been in the camper. She's never been inside my mom and dad's place. She did step inside the storage shed at 167 because I was there working on something inside.
Yeah.
When she
So I've never been inside
that's when
there.
I had that pink shirt on, and that was a bad day that day. And I didn't give a fuck what people thought of me at that time. It was a really bad day. That's one of my last days. And if Ziggy hadn't pulled up when she did, it would have been more part of my last day.
Yeah, and that's something we don't even talk about because these freaking hateful people like sit here and like make fun of us about fucking everything. And yeah, so you know, it was a depressing time at the time for
And a lot of it was the deals with a lot of Karen's bullshit and stuff with mom and dad and all that as well.
Real men wear pink for I don't. It was actually a red faded shirt, but
Yeah, it was supposed to be red, but it had been sun faded.
Taking showers. I don't know what they were doing.
Oh yeah, I was taking a
stay
shower
down there most of the time.
Yeah, but she's trying to act like I was. You were so weird, dude.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into in and out of hospital. Eventually, she's back home. When she passed, she was home.
No, this situation, the last time she ended up having to go to the hospital, Julie had, like I said, she had left and went home, and she had seen Laura in the house on the camera between 11 and 12, but she said that the camera she had went ahead and laid down, and she woke up, the camera had went offline. She had a notification that the camera went offline about midnight.
Oh, that it went offline. So she gets a notification that it was offline. That was around midnight?
Around midnight. Okay. And that it had came back online around 4 a.m. And she was pulling up, trying to zoom in to see mom, and she couldn't see mom at 4 a.m. And she automatically, she said, I just put my shoes on, grabbed my keys, and went on down there. And she said when she got there, that Fred was out in the driveway doing something. She went on in the house, and mom was...
Were you there in the driveway?
No, I wasn't there. I left out about 12 o'clock that night and went back to 207. And I didn't get back down there till like early that morning. It was way after daylight and didn't know nothing about mom. Mom was okay when I left that night. And then Julie and Karen pulled up. And that's how I found out mom wasn't even there. I thought she was probably asleep or something. I hadn't bothered mom.
Yeah.
Laying in the floor in front of her bed.
You seen the
But Julie could have seen the whole living room with the camera, the way the camera was set up. It picked up the whole living room, the bed, everything, the whole surroundings come into the kitchen.
I swear I showed last night. Maybe I didn't show where Fred said it, but I swear Fred said, even in my chat, Laura wasn't there, I was. However, I'm going to go back a few seconds here. They're done talking about the clothes. So I'm going to move on to my next part. Oh, because let's see, how much time do I have left? I have about 40 minutes left. So now we're going to listen to more of Karen, because what I'm doing here is I'm trying to give you my opinion before I hear Ziggy and Fred's opinion on what Karen said.
Said your son is an RSO.
No, he is not an RSO.
No connection to any kind of crime like that?
No. And they should know that because they pulled his record.
They did?
Along with mine.
Can you say that again for the people in the back?
They pulled his criminal record to see what his convictions were and know damn well that he's not RSO.
Then if they stated that, they should have showed the record.
Ziggy did what now?
She pulled his record. Well, I'm sure she didn't. She had a subscriber do it. And she said, she sat there and read his record one day. She pulled my record and read my record one day and still has ensued and insisted that there is so much more to it than what's in black and white.
Are you jealous of Fred?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
You know, growing up, life at home was hard. Life was very hard. Fred stayed outside playing a lot, and when Fred was outside, it was my job to keep up with Fred. So me and Fred, you know, we were outdoor buddies. We were all the time hiking through the woods.
He was the youngest, so he was
Yeah.
your brother.
Hunting with BBs, you know, fishing in the creeks, crawdad hunting, riding our bikes. You know, we were always together. I always kept an eye on him outside. And that was
She told me that when we had private conversations. She told me Fred trained horses. They played a lot together. Her and Fred were close. Julie was a different age bracket or something, but her and Fred were always playing together when they were young, when they were kids, and they loved animals. Fred loved horses. I don't have much commentary on this, but we'll listen unless she says something I want to commentate on.
a reprieve for me. That got me out of the house. I didn't have to deal with the situation going on behind closed doors. I love it. I love being outside, not having to deal with the chaos and stuff.
When you were little, you guys were close?
Yeah.
What age did that start changing, that relationship?
When I went to prison, when I was 45. We were close all the way up to that point.
Are you serious?
Okay, so until she went to prison. But you hear Laura, I showed last night, Laura says, Karen said she's going to do Fred just like Fred did her when she went to prison. Do you remember that? Laura saying that on Ziggy's panel, so that's odd to me.
Mm-hmm.
You guys were fine.
I don't ever remember me and Fred ever having a harsh word with each other before I was 45 years old.
Okay. Did he ever exhibit any kind of psychological issues?
Not until he was around 20, give or take. I remember him being perfectly fine. You know, he would go hunting, fishing, horseback riding. He had horses. He loved anything outside.
Okay.
I remember he was in a car accident, and it seemed like as soon as that happened, I remember coming to Mom and Dad's because Mom was telling me, about Fred being in a car accident and stuff. And she was very concerned with him and told me, you might need to come down here and see your brother. Talk to him. He's been a little bit upset. Honey, when I got there, bless his heart, he was standing in a doorway. I remember him standing in a bedroom doorway, and he was crying. He had been crying, and he was definitely having some kind of psychotic episode.
What was he saying?
That when he had his car wreck, that he died, that God let him come back. God was talking to him. God was giving him visions, showing him things, speaking to him constantly, and it wouldn't shut off. It was definitely a psychotic break of some sort. Something happened. He was in that state. I mean, crying and just tore all to pieces.
So he was fine up until the accident?
Yeah.
Something happened. Was that an ongoing thing or just this one incident where he had a psychotic break?
After that, for a few weeks, he was very under the weather, didn't want to go nowhere, didn't want to talk to nobody. He said the voices are so loud, God's voice is so loud. He called it God's voice.
Okay.
He said, I just don't know. It's driving me crazy. He said, it's driving me crazy. And I think that was the beginning of him really start to self-medicate. I don't think he even went to the ER. I don't think. I could be wrong, but I don't think he did.
Did the accident cause some kind of head trauma?
Not that I know of.
Really? Was it a bad accident?
He had ran off the road and off an embankment and ended up in the water at a small dam.
Wow, okay.
So, I'm sure the car was messed total.
Okay. Did your parents struggle with him going forward?
From that point forward, everything was a struggle.
So he had this ongoing thing.
Yeah.
When I hear the monkey story, it makes me think of this.
Well, the monkey story, even as children,
Tell me you've seen monkeys.
Me and Julie, as children, we would always be told there were monkeys living up in there. And I've heard from the time I was small that there used to be a man that lived on top of the mountain that had like zoo animals and that he passed away and they just...
This is folklore?
I've never seen them with my own eyes, so I would have to say, yeah, me and Julie have talked about it from time to time. And, we just chalked it up as the moonshiners were telling stories to keep people out of their moonshine stills.
He says he saw them. They hung out with him in the house.
I don't know about that.
Okay. You don't think that's part of whatever's going on? Or?
Well, I think it's a possibility. I hate that he went untreated for whatever it was that happened early on in his life.
Yeah.
And I hate that he self-medicated to the point that he is where he is now. The self-medicating snowballed. He was taking everything he could take until taking an actual pill didn't work no more, and he started using a needle.
Okay.
And, he didn't start out with meth. He started out with other things.
He was self-medicating.
It was just, yes.
Was he constantly?
Where did your grandfather live when he passed? He lives right there? That's where he committed suicide?
That's what 80 miles is my grandmother's.
That's the house that he committed suicide? Is that the one that's haunted?
It ain't hungry.
People, I guess Andy or somebody was saying that one of the houses on here is haunted.
No, this whole hard is really hard. I mean, that's why nobody really travels this hard. But it's the biggest traveled hard they are. Everybody wants hard.
It seems like people.
Ain't nobody will hunt this hard enough and not coon hunt and stuff at night because of the spirits and stuff that's in here. I mean, they ain't none to harm you or nothing, but you just, a lot of people see stuff and then see, like in 1944, there's a man on a little spot on the top of what they call a little mountain, where Chimney Top and Little Mountain met. He passed away and he had monkeys at the time. And see, they turned them monkeys loose in here. And they're still in here.
Really?
And that's why a lot of people don't fool around in here because of the monkeys. So they will get aggressive, especially if you by yourself, or a couple people will stay a distance, but if you by yourself or walking anywhere in here, you better have something back them off because they will come in and...
You've seen actual monkeys out here? You've seen monkeys out here?
Yeah. I mean, big monkeys.
Like,
all little monkeys, I'm talking about big monkeys. And they don't climb the trees like you think and stuff. They stay on the ground most times. I mean, big. I'm talking about 150, 200 pound monkeys.
wow. I mean,
primates.
I wonder how they would survive in the cold weather, like the winters.
Well, like it gets down to about, say, 37 degrees, you won't hear one, you won't no signs of one nowhere. They one hollering here earlier, like, well, they went this night. Tonight, it was last night, it was hollering early last night. But they'll start out sound like a horn owl, they'll hoot a time or two, and then you'll hear one way off, then once it answers the little hoot, oh, they'll cut loose, all kinds of crazy shit. But August is evidently the breeding time because you hear them day and night. Then usually you just hear them of the night, other than the month of August. The month of August, they get really aggressive, seem like. I mean, they'll come in close on you, and I mean, they come in right here. I mean, talk about the edge of wood and into a trailer and stuff. And it's crazy. I had somebody come here about a month ago, and they sitting in the car out there, and I talked to them. They one hooted, and he said, "That's a big old owl." And I just kind of laughed, you know. And he said, "What are you laughing at?" I said, "You'll find out in a minute." And I heard that one answer. He heard again, they went way through your answer. Boy, he cut loose. When they cut loose, cavalry's coming. I'm talking about, you can hear them coming.
What's coming?
I'm talking about 30, 40 feet at a time. Coming running. In. It's crazy, I mean. But I've been around all my life.
The monkeys?
Yeah, monkeys. They got human-like face. They got bigger nose, like, but they got human-like face. They got more a beard-like, but they got like a mane like a lion. And they, most times, ones I've seen,
So he starts describing humans. They got like a human face. He's acting like he's seen them, and his sister's like, "Oh, it's just an old wives' tale." This guy's saying he's seen these monkeys, hung with the monkeys. There was somebody a month ago that came and was talking about the monkeys. In my opinion, I think this man is talking about meth dealers. I don't know. Maybe I'm fucking wrong, but I don't think he was referring to monkeys. I think he was playing games with Ziggy, just like he did with the fucking Bones, or they were planning some content that was creepy that would get out there and get them attention, and it did because it's funny. Or this man is completely psycho and he is in a meth fucking psychosis. But he also talks about bears. We will finish the video and then I'll go back to Karen's interview.
It's hard to really see them. You hear them more than you see them. But if you hadn't never experienced them and stuff, you'd think it was an owl at first, you know, a horned owl hooting. But once they cut loose, you know right off that it's not no owl, you know, because they sound like names and everything. I mean, it's crazy.
Wow. Have you got? You should get that on tape because,
I used to, because I always said this life on I do, they supposed to love them. They get mad as hell. But I've lost my teeth now that I can't make the racket like they used to. I mean, like that sound. How you going around?
because I thought monkeys only lived in warm weather, and I didn't think there was any in the United States actually. I thought
This is what they probably got in here illegally, and I'm assuming, and Steve, when that man passed away, the family didn't have nothing to do with them. So, I mean, they just more or less open cages and turn them out. And then they just, until the late 90s, you didn't hear them nowhere but this holler. But now, I've heard them like towards Rogersville, on down that way, and on the different places. But for the longest time, like up to the late 90s, I'm thinking that
maybe it's Bigfoot. Maybe it's Bigfoot.
No, it ain't Bigfoot.
Do you believe in Bigfoot?
Yeah, I believe in Bigfoot.
You do.
Yeah, there's stuff in these mountains and stuff that people never seen.
Yeah, probably. I don't even think that there's monkeys in Florida. I'm trying to think where monkeys are in the wild.
Monkeys in Florida. They call them squirrels.
There's monkeys in Florida, Ziggy. You're a fucking idiot, dude. Not only is there monkeys, but back in the early 80s and 90s, they were like a fad. People down in Miami had monkeys on every fucking corner. Actually, that's how you could tell who was involved in the cartels, because it was the cartel members that would go get elaborate animals like monkeys and owls and snakes and like big tropical ones, not your regular cobras that you see here. But that was something I seen a lot of when I was a kid. Actually, I have a story. My mom and I one time were walking up Carlisle Avenue where I live, and there's a house with a pool that used to let us swim in it all the time. And they had everybody, because of the hurricanes, they have the shutter windows that you wind and close. And a lot of people, to protect from the hurricanes, will put the metal bars outside of their windows. And they had one, and the monkey somehow got out of the metal in between the windows and into the metal bars and hung itself. And that always terrorized my mom. She didn't let me see it. She closed my eyes. I didn't see the monkey. I remember it happening and being like pranced forward. And then my mom had went and knocked on their door. But I had a lot of neighbors that had monkeys that lived in Florida. People have pet monkeys. But what Fred is describing is not a spider monkey or a monkey, a baboon even. He's describing a 150-pound to 300-pound gorilla. Look up how much monkeys weigh. This is the most ridiculous fucking story I ever heard in my damn life. And for Karen to just shun that off, I don't know. It shows you a state of mind that Fred was in. He truly believes that he was talking to monkeys a month prior. Like, it's just, I don't, the things these people in Ben Hill said early on in Summer's case, like the resurrection, and come on, man. This is a true life missing girl. This ain't, I mean, yeah, it's a mystery, but it's not. This turns it into entertainment, doesn't it? It's interesting, but it's strange. It's not putting Summer's picture out.
Monkeys. There's squirrel monkeys down here. But the monkeys I'm talking about, big monkeys that's been brought in here probably from Africa or somewhere. I mean, they're not
Like gorilla type monkeys?
Yeah, yeah, they're big
Or where
up and stuff. I mean, they're big enough to hurt you bad.
Yeah.
I don't know about frames teeth stick out like that. I mean,
Well, do you think it's possible that an animal could have got from her?
not likely. It's all dogs. I just don't see no animal that come in.
What about bear? Have you seen bear back here?
Yeah, I fed him on my hands. I mean,
What kind of bear?
like those. There was a brown bear in there for a long time, but he's been gone for 5 years. So he come in here. First time I seen him was in '84, and I just like he had to kill this heifer calf right here in this next field, and she probably 600 pounds and carried her. And you couldn't see a drag mark or nothing. I don't know about this bear was 1,100 pounds on this bear. He's brown bear. Everybody let on like all he is a blonde back bear. He wasn't no blonde back bear because I know he brought the bear in here. He's one of my uncles that went Arab from war, and he come all the way through Alabama and Georgia and stuff, leading it with the chain. I got pictures, or I did have pictures. It's been burnt now, and that's where the bear comes from, you know. And
Fred has uncles in Alabama. That's interesting.
he's here till from probably the 60s plumb to, I'm saying 5, 6 years ago, was the last time I seen him, and I figured he got old enough he just died of old age. Well, I figured. Because they ain't nobody missing and killing anything.
So are there any bear attacks around here?
I've not never heard none. I mean,
Because now that's what people, like,
bears, I don't think it's dangerous as people want to allow. Because I've not had no trouble out of them. I mean, stand your ground with them. They'll come in a lot of times, try to get you to run and stuff. If you run, they might get you. I don't know. Because I ain't never run. But
what do you do?
they'll come and you just pretty much just stand there and make if they try to rush you, just stand your ground, just throw your hands out like that. I have smacked them and stuff. I mean,
Humans. They can't arrest you. You could stand your ground. I mean, I have smacked them and stuff. He smacked the bears. Fred's out there smacking bears in 1984 when his uncle came up from Alabama. Uncle in Alabama. Isn't Sinister from Alabama? That's interesting since her and Laura are so close. And Sinister came out telling me she had a secret that Laura told her about me, and then took that secret back and retracted it. And then now she's like naked pictures and friends and not friends and kicked off YouTube and on another platform. And I wonder if her and Fred are related. That's interesting. I don't know. Just a thought. Oh my goodness. Anyways, I'm done with this. I can't. Fred's slapping 300-pound bears. Karen shies it off.
I hate that he went untreated for whatever it was that happened early on in his life. Yeah. And I hate that he self-medicated to the point that he is where he is now. The self-medicating snowballed. I mean, he was taking everything he could take until taking an actual pill didn't work no more, and he started using a needle. Okay. And, you know, he didn't start out with meth. He started out with other things.
It was self-medicating.
It was just, yes.
Was he constantly saying he was hearing the voices, or did that stop?
Like a couple of years after that incident, he eventually stopped even talking about it.
That was when he was getting...
And that was when he was more into self-medicating.
So the self-medicating at least must have done something for him.
Well, I mean, I guess it did. It numbed him in a way, or it done something for him until it got out of control.
Some more questions for you. Did you sell your family's property?
No.
You never sold? What about your father's? Is the one further from Redmond's? That one got sold recently, or auctioned?
The bank sold it. They foreclosed on it. They sold it.
Because there was no payments being made?
No, I stopped making the payments.
You stopped making the payments?
Yeah.
Because you wanted nothing to do with that property anymore? Or?
Well, I was trying to make the payments, and because there was a balloon payment coming up, and it would have had to have been paid off in 2024.
Okay.
So I was trying to make the payments and trying to communicate with the bank. And that's the paper that I filed with the courthouse, was a letter just stating that I was an heir That's what the bank needed in order to even talk to me. And I was making the payments. I had called the payments up, and I was making.
Making the payments?
No, before Mom passed away, Julie was making the payments. Yeah, but she couldn't do it after that, and the payments got behind. They had sent out a foreclosure, well, not a foreclosure notice, but they had put a notice in the paper that they were going to foreclose and sell the place. So that's when I was trying to communicate with the bank, and I had called the payments up. Everything was going fine, and then Fred convinced Ziggy that he was executor over the estates, everything up there, and that he was due to inherit everything. And that's when Ziggy went online on one of her lives and said that Fred, everything down there was Fred's. He was the executor.
I do remember a time Ziggy, I think it might have even been Ziggy and Laura. I'm going to look for the clip, but I do remember a time where I think it was Laura had said, and maybe it was early on, maybe it was the interview Ziggy did with Laura Lynn, maybe it was one of the times she was on the panel, but Laura said, we got along with Ronald. We were going to inherit everything from Ronald. They can have the mother's shit or something like that. That's just interesting to me. I don't know. Ziggy did say that. That she made it seem like, and Karen, when I was talking to Karen was telling me she felt like Ziggy just wanted their land or whatever it was they were going to inherit. And I know something did happen where they lost the land, but maybe they still have it because of that trust or something. Maybe it like went, I don't know. I don't know how that works. That's why I was asking yesterday if anybody knows how that works. If they'd like to come up and explain it, it would be an interesting conversation.
Executor, and that if something happened and Fred didn't get it, that she would make damn sure that no, these are her words, no fucking body gets it. So I figured if her and Fred had figured out that they, since he was executor over the estate and they knew what the house payments were, that they could handle that, and they were good, that he can have it. So I just stopped in my tracks what I was doing. I stopped making payments. I stopped communicating with the bank. I stopped everything because Ziggy and Fred had that bull by the horns.
And how long before it got auctioned off?
3 months.
3 months it got auctioned off. Was he on any paperwork as an executor of the property?
No.
Any will?
No.
There's no will?
There's no bill.
Oh.
There's nothing. That's why I had to file that paper with the court in order to just talk to the bank.
Interesting. What about the other property?
It's still in limbo. Nobody has
Are you making
probate.
payments on that one?
There was no payments to be made. It was Mom owned that free and clear. It still has to be probated. Dad's estate still has to be probated. I thought probated nothing.
Okay.
The bank sold it.
The one that's not auctioned off currently, it's paid off. It's just sitting there. Nobody can take it.
Mom paid cash for it.
Okay.
All that has to be paid yearly on that is the property
Do
taxes.
you pay that?
No, I don't.
No.
No. I would assume Julie does. Or if Fred thinks it's his, I'm assuming him and Ziggy is paying for it. But I'm not paying for it.
But that's only one property. There's like 3 properties there. They own different addresses. So what happened to Ronald's property? And not that it's really any of our business, but is this really making sense when you put it all as a whole? Because wasn't they married? There has to be more to it. I swear I smell fire. I just checked my house. My house don't smell like it. It's by my window, by my computer. I think it's coming from outside. I don't know. I'm going to go check outside in a minute.
Who's on the title?
Mom, because it's not been
It
probated.
hasn't been probated. Okay. Had you or Julie at any point gone into either property searching?
I did.
So you guys were looking for what?
Well, on Fred's property, on 207, where Fred was living at the camper, I was looking to recover Dad's property that he had stolen, put up there. Just anything that he had stolen, taken from Dad's.
Oh, from the other. I get it. He alleged that you stole money while doing that search.
No, if
No.
I had money, I wouldn't be working.
No money was found
No.
during the whole search.
I found a big bag, gallon-sized bag of homegrown weed that even the law left there because it was so nasty.
Okay. Did you steal any SD card?
Okay, so where does Fred get the homegrown weed? Was you also selling weed, number one? Number two, she said, let me go back a second.
Was living at the camper, I was looking to recover Dad's property that he had stolen, put up there. Just anything that he had stolen, taken from Dad's.
Oh, from the other. I get it. He alleged that you stole money while doing that search.
No, if I had money, I wouldn't be working.
No money.
The money. It was upwards thousands of dollars Fred accused her of taking, and she told me it was something about rugs. It's in my messages. I showed them 2 days in a row, different messages. You're welcome to go find the videos and watch them. Karen and I spoke about that. She also told me, and I've reported on this the last couple days, that there was a time that Fred owed James Light upwards near $10,000, and that he had to go to his dad to pay this debt back. And also, Laura at one time had spoken about James Light unaliving a horse. That clip is short. Let me go see if I can find that one and we can watch it while you guys watch this.
He was found
No.
during the whole search.
I found a big bag, gallon-sized bag of homegrown weed that even the law left there because it was so nasty.
Okay. Did you steal any SD cards?
There was no SD cards.
Either property, there was no SD cards. Were you also just, I mean, you knew what had happened to Summer in the back of your mind. Were you guys also looking for any evidence?
Yeah, I was kind of, while I was doing, I did have a lot of the junk hauled off of 207 because Julie had gave me the paperwork from the health department where they had filed a complaint and fined Fred. I forget how much they fined him because the vehicles were on the road. There was stuff going into the water.
I saw that.
And all that. So what I did was I hired a gentleman to come down there and haul off anything that was along the creek, any motor blocks or transmissions, anything that could possibly leak oil onto the ground or wash down into the creek so it wouldn't be a concern. That's the stuff that I had him haul out of there.
So the truth is you were there looking for any of your dad's property that might have been taken off.
Yes.
Yeah.
And,
And anything.
and in the meantime, walking around because, they were on YouTube talking about septic tanks and just different things. So of course I know where the old septic tank was up there on 207. So we look in it. I videoed in it. It's clean. Yeah. Yeah, we videoed in it and everything. But the new septic tank on 207, I had no way of checking it. I don't even know where the lid's at. I mean, you know what I mean?
Is that the one with the iron pipe sticking up?
I have no idea.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Did you ever see any cameras at Fred's?
I've seen there was one when me and Julie first went up there after he went to jail. There was one, if you pull up in his driveway and you park facing the camper, right behind where your vehicle in the woods, there was a camera. And I don't know where it was at. I just know that it had to be there because when we stuck our head in the door, this is when Fred still had the electricity hooked up. Illegally, but hooked up nonetheless. There was a TV with the picture of the camper on the TV screen.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So he said he had that set up for his drug business, so he'd know when somebody was at his house.
Okay.
But other than knowing that one camera was there, that's the only one that I see. I didn't see no trail cams. I didn't see any other cameras. There was no SD cards anywhere. But he needs to understand that Laura had been there for days before she went to jail, for like a week or two before she went to jail, hauling stuff out of there.
I heard you kicked Laura off the property.
When Fred went to jail, me and Julie both went to Dad's and Mom's house at 165, and Laura was there. They didn't have permission to live there. They had just moved in there, unbeknownst to us. I guess, I don't know. He had that electricity hooked up illegal too, because there wasn't supposed to be no power there. We left. We called Hawkins County Sheriff's Office and told them that they sent a cop out. We told them the situation. He himself, that officer, gave Laura 5 days to get her stuff and go back to the camper because we told him. They had permission to live in the camper, but they did not have permission to live at 165.
And who was with you when this happened?
Julie.
Who?
Julie.
Julie was with you?
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, I wasn't by myself. He gave her 5 days. So on the 5th day, me and Julie both came back to Dad's property, and when we pulled up, Laura was there. She was loading stuff into a trailer. Pete Clark was there with the trailer behind his vehicle, and Laura had it loaded with a lot of stuff. And I can only imagine that's not the first load because she had already had 5 days to haul stuff out there.
Are you afraid she was taking stuff that wasn't even hers?
Oh, she took a lot of stuff that wasn't hers. A lot of stuff that was Mom and Dad's. She took anything of value that Fred had when it comes to tools or power equipment, stuff like that. She said herself, the day that she ended up getting arrested, she was heading to Church Hill to sell Fred's tools.
When you did do the search at Fred's, did you find anything at all that you had to turn into TBI or law enforcement?
Yeah.
Do you know anybody who chews toothpicks? Or wait, you know what? You did tell me somebody. Who did you say? I don't want to lead and tell you, but you did tell me somebody one time. And because you came back, you remember when you asked me about who chews on toothpicks? And you're like, blank blank does. It's like you just remember. You're like, I just remembered. You told me Andy's dad, I think it was.
Yeah, I think like 2 years, like George. Very much going on.
Yeah, I know.
Should be honest about it.
Oh, I know what we were talking about. Hold on. We were talking about the footprint thing. How there was only one footprint and not two. And so they were thinking maybe like she was carried or something.
They actually found two different footprints, one at one place and one at another place, but they brushed supposed to be over it, just one track at each place.
Yeah, supposedly one track at each place at two different places, but only one. Didn't you say law enforcement asked you something about horses?
Yeah.
Oh,
Something about a horse with no shoes on.
so law enforcement asked Fred if he knew anybody who had a horse that wasn't shoed, whatever, didn't have like shoes, whatever you call it.
Mm-hmm.
And why did they think that? Because it looked like there was horse tracks near it.
No, they didn't discuss that with me.
Oh,
They just asked me a question.
so he doesn't know why he was asked that. He just law enforcement asked him
That
if
was the first day.
so the first day that Summer went missing, they asked Fred if he knew anybody who had a horse that was not shoed. And he doesn't know why he was asked that.
Which I didn't at the time.
And he couldn't think of anybody. And you still don't, I don't think.
No, I still had one at that time that didn't have shoes on. But I thought it's odd they asked that, you know.
It is odd because, horses came up several times in Summer Wells since she's disappeared. It's came up, and, from the time that Leslie Earhart from the TBI, was on doing that update, and there goes a horse with a trailer stuck or something stuck to the back of it, a trailer or something. Huh?
I was around that horse all the time. I know it wasn't that horse.
You know whose horse that was? Whose?
David Bates' horse.
Oh, Fred thinks it was David Bay's horse. Oh, he said he knows for a fact it was David. He's like, he said he rode that horse a lot. It's David Bay's horse. Why did people think it was Frank Lights though, or was one of the lights?
They got horses and stuff. They just assumed.
Oh, see, I was thinking it was thought to be one of Frank Lights.
That horse just kept on Knox Pope Road.
It was kept on Knox Pope?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so it wasn't even kept on Bay's property. No. Okay, so it was kept off of Knox Pope Road. Isn't Toothpick Dude the one who took JLR through all the brush? Brandon?
Brandon Clark.
Does he chew toothpicks?
No, I don't think so. He might have when he didn't have alcohol to drink. I don't know.
Summer did love horses.
They let him carloads all down there. I don't know what horse.
Yes, Tawanda, that horse. That was David Bay's horse. So Fred has rode that horse before. And it was a horse, and that horse was kept over on off of Knox Pope Road. Brandon has a horse. He showed it to JR. A lot of people have horses out there.
Yeah, there's a coat out of that horse.
It was a colt what?
There was a coat out of that horse that ran away.
Oh, really? Yeah. So that horse that you're talking about that Brandon has, that is
So it's a colt. You mean it's
That was
child?
his dad. He was his father.
So the horse that was running away was a male horse, right? And it was the father of Brandon Clark's horse.
Brandon Clark. So that horse he had to Roy Lott.
And now that horse is owned by Roy Light.
I saw somebody talk about another member of the Lott family, and that member of the Lott family coming up is Roy Lott. This right here is just his Google or his not Google, his Facebook photos. You know, he goes horseback riding a lot. And what concerns me about this is I don't know where Rory lives at. There is rumors about stating that the Lott members of the Lott family went searching for Summer the evening that Summer went missing, and we got to find out if that's true. I mean, why would if that rumor is true? So if there's any pictures or videos of the searchers on horseback, you know, we need to look into those and see who's on those horses. And then we need to find out why law enforcement allowed the family of a registered sex offender that live right there in the same community as he does go searching for a missing 5-year-old child. But I want to come back to this taekwondo picture. But you can see here there's just a lot of horseback riding, horse trails, and Beech Creek is those mountains. Yeah, there's no roads in those mountains, but there are tons of horse trails up through there, going to caves, going different places. And if the Lott family, if members of the Lott family start, in fact, if that is truth and not just a speculative rumor or whatever, we need to look into that. We really need to look into that. Now, that taekwondo picture that's right here in Rory Lott's Facebook pages, I think I've got a better picture of it, actually. I think I saved that picture. Right here it is. It says Rory Lott. That's his Facebook picture. Just wait for it, guys. Wait for it. There's a close-up of this man. Let's see how close we can get. Do y'all see this? Is that a kid or is that a grown man? What do y'all think? But this picture here came from Roy Lott's Facebook, and then we've got this guy. Kingsport business owner charged with sexual assault on a student. Let me get up here and see if I can read this. It's too far away. I'm going to pull it up here online, and then I'll just read it completely off the internet, off of Google. But you know, we send our kids, we want to protect our kids, always wanting to protect our kids. And this disturbs me a lot because some parents sent their child to taekwondo classes. And, you know, you think that, and it's so they can protect themselves against harm. Blountville. The owner of a martial arts school in Kingsport is jailed on charges of aggravated sexual battery and continuous sexual abuse of a child, according to the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office, which provided the following. The Sullivan County Sheriff's Office began an investigation in early August after being notified of an alleged sexual assault that occurred over a period of time. A female advised investigators she had been a student at Grosso Martial Arts. I don't know if it's Grosso or Grosso. Looks like Grosso. That business is owned and operated by Joseph Frank Grosso, 64, of Kingsport. The female provided details of multiple incidents in which Joseph Frank Grosso allegedly sexually abused her over a period of time while she was taking martial art lessons. The indictments occurred when others were present. However, the suspect would have the alleged victim step away from others who were receiving lessons. Based on the investigation, the Sullivan County grand jury indicted and charged Grosso with his 6 counts of aggravated sexual battery and 3 counts of continuous sexual child abuse. Grosso was arrested Tuesday and as of Wednesday afternoon was in the Sullivan County Jail on a $200,000 bond. Now that's
the one that Brandon had. So Brandon doesn't even have a horse anymore.
No, it's over Roy Light, which is
After
Frank
Summer,
Light's brother.
Frank Light's brother. Okay, Roy Light, Frank Light's brother. But you never hung out around Frank, ever were around Frank Light. Only
I couldn't tell you what Frank looked like. I don't even know what he looked like. If I even seen him. You know? I know Roy and his other brother. I just said his name. Roy and Jamie.
Roy, and he knows his brothers, but not really Frank. He said he can't even tell you what.
His sister or
Annie. You don't know Annie?
I know of her. I don't know what she looks like. I know she had married a Dykes, Stanley Dykes, and we know that.
This actually happened 300 yards down from where I live in the Hawkins County community of Rogersville, Tennessee, and the disappearance of Summer Utah Moon Wells. We're going to actually give you in this episode some information that's not out there, and it's not been in the media, it's not been anywhere, because it's firsthand information that we've been able to obtain from Don Wells himself, from the local law enforcement, FBI, TBI, which whom were all over this case. So
Fred's opinion on Frank Light's possible involvement. Well, who?
I've never seen Frank even in the hall or nothing. I mean, I don't even know what Frank even looks like to even know if he was in the hall really. Though.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't really know much about Frank Light, really, do you?
No, I just know he worked at some morgue for a while.
He worked at a morgue for a while, he said.
And a bouncer at a few places. That's the only thing I know about him. As far as me knowing him, I don't know him or don't know what he looks like.
Who was the one?
I know he's supposed to be into a lot of child porn and stuff.
Yeah.
He's been charged with it, I reckon.
Yeah. But there was another one that.
And he is gay.
Oh, and he said he's gay. He's into boys, that Frank Light is. There's so many, I don't know. There's so many people out there that I don't know.
I didn't even realize there's that many until this case come up. Huh.
Yeah, it's crazy to find out that all these guys are bisexual. You know, like even Bill Shipley and Oreo says that AC is not married to Stanley Dykes. That's her older sister Lisa. That Frank Light was never a mortician. He embalmed people. Yeah, he did. I've heard that from more than just I mean, not even just from Fred. I've heard that from several people that he used to be, and I heard that before even Fred said anything. So I think there is some truth to that. But as far as he said, you're right about the other thing about
See, I don't know the girls and stuff.
Lisa married Stanley Dykes, not AC. Thank you for letting us know that.
Hey guys. Yes, I did. There was a what appeared to be two tarps layered on each other, a blue one on the outside, a silver one on the inside, and they had been pulled up into a bundle about this big and put in a ravine. And I didn't know what it was. I just pulled it open and it was ashes fell out. Ashes. It was like someone had cleaned out a stove or a burn pit or a burn barrel or something. It was ashes. Were there particles in it of any kind? There was, like loose trash that hadn't burned, like cans and things like that. And I had took a stick and I pulled it loose to, just because I was curious, why would someone bundle up ashes in the country? You throw that stuff and let the rain take it away. Yeah. So, curiosity got the best of me. So I took a stick and I pulled through it a little bit and a big wad of hair came out. And it was on a stick. So this is the stick. The hair came down on both sides about that. I guess you could tell if it was burned. It was covered in ashes. Okay. But it was blonde hair.
You could tell it was blonde hair?
Yes.
Curly, straight
blonde hair.
So then you obviously called the law enforcement.
And yes, I called law enforcement. TBI came. Well, I called the TBI.
Okay.
And I pulled through it a little bit, and a big wad of hair came out inside, and they had been pulled up into a bundle about this big and put in a ravine. And I didn't know.
was with you.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, I wasn't by myself.
Fred.
He gave her 5 days. So on the 5th day, me and Julie both came back to Dad's property. And when we pulled up, Laura was there. She was loading stuff into a trailer. Pete Clark was there with a trailer behind his vehicle, and Laura had it loaded with a lot of stuff. And I can only imagine that's not the first load because she had already had 5 days to haul stuff out there.
Are you afraid she was taking stuff that wasn't even hers?
Oh, she took a lot of stuff that wasn't hers. A lot of stuff that was Mom and Dad's. She took anything of value that Fred had when it comes to tools or power equipment, stuff like that. If she took, she said herself, the day that she ended up getting arrested, she was heading to Church Hill to sell Fred's tools.
When you did do the search at Fred's, did you find anything at all that you had to turn into TBI or law enforcement?
Yes, I did. There was a what appeared to be 2 tarps layered on each other, a blue one on the outside, a silver one on the inside, and they had been pulled up into a bundle about this big and put in a ravine. And I didn't know what it was. I just pulled it open, and it was ashes fell out.
Ashes?
It was like someone had cleaned out a stove or a burn pit or a burn barrel or something. It was ashes.
Were there particles in it of any kind?
There was, like loose trash that hadn't burned, like cans and things like that. And I had took a stick and I had pulled it loose to, just because I was curious, why would someone bundle up ashes in the country? You throw that stuff and let the rain take it away.
Yeah.
So, curiosity got the best of me. So I took a stick and I pulled through it a little bit, and a big wad of hair came out. And it was on a stick. So this is the stick. The hair came down on both sides about that.
You told, I guess you could tell
And
if it was burned.
It was covered in ashes.
Okay.
But it was blonde hair.
You could tell it was blonde.
Yes.
Curly, straight
blonde hair.
So then you obviously called the law enforcement.
And yes, I called law enforcement. TBI came. Well, I called the TBI.
Okay.
And the first guy that came out, I walked him up and I showed him what we had found, and he came back down with us while he was waiting on another TBI agent to show up.
Was anybody with you when this happened?
My 2 sons.
Okay, so they witnessed this too.
Yeah. And when the second TBI agent pulled up, the only part of the conversation that I heard was the first agent told the second agent, "It's definitely human hair, and we've got a huge problem."
Really?
And that was the end of what I heard them say because I walked away. By that time, a couple of Hawkins County investigators had pulled up. So they had went and talked with each other, and I asked them, I said, "Is there any need for me to be here? If not, I want to leave."
Why did you want to leave so bad?
Why would I want to stay?
You were afraid it was...
I knew it wasn't summer because when she went missing, she didn't have long hair. But why would I want to stay?
Did they collect the evidence?
Yes.
Did they search any other areas?
I don't know, because they told me that it was okay for me to leave, that they would contact me if they needed to talk.
The fuck?
And I pulled it loose to, just.
Truth is, you were there looking for any of your dad's property that might have been taken off.
Yes.
Yeah.
And,
and anything.
And in the meantime, walking around because, they were on YouTube talking about septic tanks and just different things. So, of course, I know where the old septic tank was up there on 207. So we look in it. I videoed in it. It's clean. Yeah. We videoed in it and everything. But, the new septic tank on 207, I had no way of checking it. I don't even know where the lid's at. I mean, you know what I mean?
Is that the one with the iron pipe sticking up?
I have no idea.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Did you ever see any cameras at Fred's?
I seen, there was one when me and Julie first went up there after he went to jail. There was one, if you pull up in his driveway and you park facing the camper, heading to Church Hill to sell Fred's tools.
When you did do the search at Fred's, did you find anything at all that you had to turn into TBI or law enforcement?
Yes, I did. There was a what appeared to be 2 tarps layered on each other, a blue one on the outside, a silver one on the inside, and they had been pulled up into a bundle about this big and put in a ravine. And I didn't know what it was. I just pulled it open, and it was ashes fell out.
Ashes?
It was like someone had cleaned out a stove or a burn pit or a burn barrel or something. It was ashes.
Were there particles in it of any kind?
There was, like loose trash that hadn't burned, like cans and things like that. And I had took a stick and I had pulled it loose to, just because I was curious, why would someone bundle up ashes in the country? You throw that stuff and let the rain take it away.
Yeah.
So, curiosity got the best of me. So I took a stick and I pulled through it a little bit, and a big wad of hair came out. And it was on a stick. So this is the stick. The hair came down on both sides about that.
You told, I guess you could tell if it was burned.
It was covered in ashes.
Okay.
But it was blonde hair.
You could tell it was blonde.
Yes.
Curly, straight
blonde hair.
So then you obviously called the law enforcement.
And yes, I called law enforcement. TBI came. Well, I called the TBI.
Okay, good.
And the first guy that came out, I walked him up and I showed him what we had found. And he came back down with us while he was waiting on another TBI agent to show up.
Was anybody with you when this happened?
My 2 sons.
Okay, so they witnessed this too?
Yeah. And when the second TBI agent pulled up, the only part of the conversation that I heard was the first agent told the second agent, it's definitely human hair and we've got a huge problem.
Really?
And that was the end of what I heard them say because I walked away. By that time, a couple of Hawkins County investigators had pulled up. So they had went and talked with each other. And I asked them, I said, is there any need for me to be here? If not, I want to leave.
Why did you want to leave so bad?
Why would I want to stay?
You were afraid it was...
I knew it wasn't Summer because when she went missing, she didn't have long hair. But why would I want to stay?
Did they collect the evidence?
Yes.
Did they search any other areas?
I don't know because they told me that it was okay for me to leave, that they would contact me if they needed to talk with me. And I left them my information and I left.
This whole...
Take a break?
Yeah.
Okay. We've covered anything you found at Fred's that you called TBI about, and that was pretty shocking. We talked about where you were on the 15th, when and how you heard about Summer. I think we talked about that. You were at work. Did you get the Amber Alert?
I got a endangered child alert first, and then later on I got the Amber Alert. I think that was like in early hours of the morning when I got the Amber Alert.
And then 5 days later is when you actually went. Can you tell us about your mother's funeral and who was there?
Well, Fred wasn't there. Laura wasn't there.
At your mother's funeral?
He never even came to the hospital or the funeral. No. My sister was there.
Where was he at the time of her funeral?
I don't know.
Was he in jail?
No, but he sent Chad and another one of Chad's buddies, I guess one of Fred's buddies too, to Mom's funeral.
Did you say that again? Who did he send?
He sent Chad.
Chad who?
Arnold.
How do you know? How do you know he's the one who sent him?
Because Chad Arnold said so.
He did. Sent someone in his place at his mother's.
That's so weird. I don't think that counts.
I don't think that's how it works. Okay, now I understand the question. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk. We may have to dive into this one because I heard the story. Do you remember Laura's?
We were there for the
Right.
funeral.
Is that the one that Fred was not there for, right?
Correct. We kept waiting. We kept kind of holding off on starting the service, thinking, Fred will be here in a minute. We were waiting. And, here comes Chad's truck up to the cemetery, and he has a friend with him. And he tells someone that Fred wasn't coming, that he was standing by Fred to be there on his behalf. So we proceeded with the funeral. The service was over, and, Mom didn't have insurance. So we had to do everything as cheap as possible, which meant we didn't have nobody to fill in the grave if we didn't do it. So there was a whole group of us, family and everybody. And Chad was also one of those that he said Fred wanted to give help with that. So, he didn't say nothing to nobody the whole time. It took 2 hours to fill Mom's grave in, and then there was a bit of dirt left over, and he said, y'all can load that up in my truck, and I'll go and put it on my driveway, and that'll get rid of some of it. And we said, oh, okay. So we all pitched in and loaded the back of his truck up with dirt, and we had got to the point where we couldn't load his truck up no more. We couldn't do nothing else, so we called it a wrap, and he went and got in his truck and shut the door, and he looked out his window, and he said, well, and this is the first time he actually talked during the whole time that he was there. He said, well, Karen, what do you think about the whole Summer Wells thing? And I said, well, I see what I see on YouTube, and it's a whole crap show as far as that's concerned. I said, but as far as Summer Wells, I said, I don't know what to think. I think that when the truth comes out, it will probably devastate a whole community because it's just unbelievable. And I don't know if it was just a poor choice of words. I mean, he didn't offer condolences over Mom passing away. Nothing. He asked about Summer Wells and what I thought about it. And his response was that every time somebody goes missing around here, no, that's not what he said. Every time somebody around here gets murdered, I'm the first one they talk to.
What?
I just kind of stood there and looked at him. I just kind of stood there and looked at him. I'm like, well, first of all, she's a missing little girl. Nobody has said she's been murdered. And I'm at my mother's funeral, and you're not even offering condolences. But this is what is on your mind.
To me,
And I
you
just
guys,
stood there looking at him, and there was nothing else said. He cranks up, and he pulls out. And I was just standing there dumbfounded. And there was others beside me that were just as dumbfounded. We had known Fred for years, and I'm sure he had been at Mom and Dad's, and
Right.
you know, to Fred or whatever. Did he ever come to see Mom and Dad? I wouldn't think so.
right. You probably just come hang out with Fred, whatever.
I mean, you know, there's a difference between knowing somebody and knowing of somebody, and
Reaction to Cotton Simpson's death. Can you tell us that story?
I know what I was told by Mom and by Julie on separate occasions, and they both told me the same story, that Mom and Julie both were there at the house, and Laura was in the kitchen on her phone, and all of a sudden she starts screaming, "They found him, they found him, they found him." And she was crying, having a full-blown panic attack, and just tore all to pieces. And all she kept repeating was, "Oh my God, they found him." And she ran out of the house and went to the barn where Fred was at to tell him. She came back in the house after that and had calmed down some. And then Fred came in the house and she said that Fred's only comment was, "Well, I figured somebody would get him for that money when he left."
She said what?
She said that they both told me that Fred commented that I knew somebody would get Cotton for his money.
Help me understand this. Laura said she had met Cotton how many times? I think just 3 times.
According to her words, just a few times, 2 or 3 times.
And he what?
And on her interview, she said that he gave her the creeps. She felt like he was undressing her with his eyes, and she didn't want nothing to do with it.
So why would you get so upset?
That's the part that I don't understand.
Her reaction to you felt not usual. Like there was something really unusual about how she was reacting to his death.
Especially with Mom and Julie both on different occasions telling me the same story. Originally, I didn't think too much of it because I didn't know how she felt about Cotton. But then she did that interview on YouTube, and she said that she had only seen him a few times. She hadn't spoke to him. She didn't know nothing about him, that she didn't like him. He gave her the creeps. And
Laura did say that on Ziggy's panel, the panel I've been showing the last couple days. Karen saying Laura said that to her too. Here's what Karen spoke about on 6 Ups about Cotton. She just spoke about Chad. I showed a little clip of what she said about Chad going to the mom's funeral. Now, this is something she said in the past about Cotton. We can refer to it when we listen to what she says. Ryan, I have seen her to be truthful with these stories, not changing, not truthful, but some of her stories have not changed. However, there was one earlier with the lingerie and clothing that we caught. There was a huge change. If you didn't see it, go back and rewind. But here you go.
When I heard that story, the first thing that popped in my head was Cotton Simpson blunt force trauma, and a polygraph test that said that Fred had knowledge of a crime scene that had not been made public. And I'm like, what the hell? Well, I mean, first of all, I mean, common sense would tell you that if somebody hit somebody up in the head with something of that caliber, with that kind of force, they wouldn't have got up. They would have still been laying there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know. I mean, that reminds me of, you know, the story that around the same time he had went to Julie's and told Julie that he needed to borrow gas money because his wallet was in the woods, because he had to pick off running because he thought that there was a bunch of DEA agents or DPS agents in the woods, and he thought they were getting busted because they were being surrounded, and he took off running, and he didn't have his wallet because he had to hide it, and that's where his money was at. If he could just leave him a little bit of money for gas, that as soon as the coast was clear, he would get his wallet and pay her back. I mean, that's the elaborate stuff that we heard all the time, that we just brushed off as nothing. You know what bothered me about the whole Cotton situation? But long before the polygraph and all that, I remember Mom and Julie both telling me that Laura was in the house with them, using the Wi-Fi, was on the phone, and started freaking out, having an anxiety attack, crying. I mean, to the point of, you know, snot down the face, crying, panic attack, saying, "Oh my God, they found him dead, they found him dead." And she was talking about Cotton Simpson and runs out the door to tell Fred. Now, how do you have that sort of reaction to a man being found dead that you don't know. That has always, I mean, that's a question in the back of my mind. How do you have that visceral reaction to somebody that I don't know him, and what I've seen of them, they're creeps. He's a creep. But yet you have that type of visceral reaction to the news that he had been found.
Curiosity said she just got here, but Fred said he was being questioned for 2 murders when he was pulled in and questioned about Cotton. Do you know who the other murderer may have been?
I do not know. I heard that on one of Ziggy's lives. Someone had clipped that and sent that to me and asked me the same thing then. I do not know. Well, I believe that statement though about him and another man following, because when Ziggy was trying to hook Ryan up to talk to Fred was messaging Ryan, and on one of Ryan's episodes, he posted a screenshot of Fred talking about the person that was with him, and the screenshot said, "Please clear our name. Please help clear our name."
I got that screenshot too.
And that was from Fred, so I do believe that.
Help clear our name. He was raised in the area and swim in the swimming pools. And he knows where the caves are, and he can be a lot of help to you, I promise.
That's the screenshot that Ryan posted on one of his lives, yeah.
And then, that just did not correspond with the reaction that she gave when she seen on social media that Cotton had been found.
Right. Do you know, did she tell anybody, or do you guys know, did she say that she was there when Cotton? Because I know a few hours before, Cotton had been at his place to pick up some drugs or something.
All I know is what she said on the YouTube interview was that Cotton had come to talk to Fred about buying a boat. And she said that he had talked to Fred something about Summer Wells. And she asked Fred what he said, and Fred told her that she didn't need to know.
It was about Summer Wells.
That's what she said.
So she said.
That's what she said.
And then that he wouldn't tell her because she didn't need to know.
And that he was always protecting her, and he always did that.
But it doesn't, okay. The other stories we're hearing don't match that at all. What we hear from, okay. One more question, and then we'll kind of close out with some just hoping whatever. What was your thought when you first heard what Fred's bond was and why it was so high?
Well, my first thought was, who did he kill? It ended up being $25,000.
$25,000. So your first thought was who did
But
originally,
originally, when it came up on Mobile Patrol and it gives a list, it did state his charge, but it stated a bond of $250,000. That is murder charge bond.
That is murder charge.
So
Zachary Lowe just got that bond for murder.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Wow.
So automatically, why wouldn't I think it was more than a drug charge? So me and Julie goes down to 165 the next day, and Laura's there, and we're asking her what they had to serve a warrant. What was he charged with? What were they arresting? And she said she did not know. She was all to pieces because both sisters were there in her face. I mean, we weren't there to be in her face. We were there to get answers.
Was this the time you got arrested for the meth manufacturing and all that stuff?
Yes. Okay. We were trying to figure out what he was being arrested for that justified a $250,000 bond. Yeah. And I remember just directly talking to Laura and saying, don't fuck with me right now. I want to know why he's got a $250,000 bond. Who did they arrest him for murdering? Or what in the hell is going on? I said, tell me now, and don't fuck with me. Did he have something to do with Summer Wells' disappearance? She sat down on the bed. She was already sitting on the bed. She put her elbows on her knees and her face in her hands, and couldn't even look me in the eye. And all she did was sit there and just shake her head no. And I don't know if that was her trying to just get out of the situation. She never answered me.
She wouldn't verbally answer that question.
She never verbally answered me. All she did was sit and this is what she was doing. I don't know what answer to take from that. There was never a no. She wouldn't look me in the eye, and she wouldn't verbally say anything.
I'm going to speculate a little bit. I'm going to ask you to speculate a little bit. Okay. So this isn't anything you've seen or heard yourself. But in the scenario, hypothetically, let's say Fred did do this. He was responsible for Summer, got rid of her somehow, and she knows. Do you think she will ever, if that's the scenario, we're speculating, do you think she would ever tell on him?
No.
She would protect him to her grave?
Yes.
She'll take it to her grave.
They were that close and they would protect each other.
Well, I mean, they both have 20 years of history and dirt on each other. If you've seen Fred, you've seen Laura. They went hand in hand. Why would she tell on herself? Because she would be in the same boat he was in.
She would get dragged in some way.
Conspiracy is a real charge.
Right.
Carnal knowledge is a real charge.
So in that scenario, anything she says online, we can't.
I believe. What are the odds that a couple are together for 20 years, then an event happens that they're not together anymore?
I have a clip of Laura where Laura says Fred would do anything to protect me. Would that also mean Mary and Ziggy to protect Laura? I find all this situation with Laura and Fred odd. They remain friends. They still talk. They're both remarried. They're both sober now. However, Career Garden from time to time will bring out new interviews with Laura. Sinister, it was only a year ago, Sinister Shadows was out here seeing her and Laura in contact all the time. And by the way, Sinister Shadows is like Cher's best friend from the start, along with Cotton Candy. And I didn't even know Sinister Shadows existed till about a year and a half ago when she came into my chat begging me to build her channel. I find that girl odd, and I don't know why. I just fucking do. I don't like the fact that her and Cher are besties, and they both really are into the voodoo, fucking Seraphina psychic shit. Nobody pays attention to that. I don't. That's odd to me.
And one of them goes and instantly marries another woman, is living with them, has been with them, but is still in daily contact with his ex. Why would that be? Is that a constant reminder of keep your mouth shut? Is that a constant reminder of we're in this together, don't you ever forget it? That's what it reminds me of, because in what reality would it be okay for that to happen?
Yeah. Do we know that for a fact that did Laura admit that they're communicating?
No, that's what Ziggy and Fred said on their lives, that they are in communication on a daily basis.
With Laura.
With Laura. And Ziggy's okay with it. Laura's okay with it, and Fred's okay with it. So why be in contact with someone? And it was stated something about it's because they have children together. Okay, I would understand that in a normal situation, but the children they had together have not been with them for the past 15 plus years.
Right, good point.
They're not raising children together. Those children are, all of them but one are adults.
Yeah, doesn't need to communicate about the children.
No, especially when they aren't raised, neither one of them are raising them, period.
Okay.
So it's not about the children.
You've been dealing with this nonstop, with this shit being put online constantly about you, lie after lie after lie after lie. What's your response to all of that? What do you want to say to them or just to the public about all of this?
Well, I mean, people can believe what they want. I'm not asking anybody to be Team Fred, Team Andy, Team Karen. I'm asking them to be Team Summer. There is not one thing that Fred has brought out on YouTube that has helped Summer's case in any way. Not one thing.
If Fred was standing right there in front of you, no Ziggy around, if he was sitting right here, would you ask him or say anything?
I would tell him that I love you. And he has hurt me worse than any person in my 53 years of life. And I've been through a lot. I would tell him, like I have before, that I do wish him well. And I wish he would seek help, mental health help, because he does need it, whether he admits it or not. I would tell him that I don't think that he is in a healthy relationship. And I would suggest that he talk with his VO and figure out a different living situation and get on his feet and stand on his own. I would suggest that he goes to AA and NA, because there's a lot of peer support there.
After all this, you still seem to you love your brother.
I do love my brother, but I don't have to agree or condone anything that he says or does. I wish him nothing but the best. But in order for him to live his best life, he's going to have to focus on himself. Do I ever see that happening? Unfortunately, no. And that's the part that breaks my heart the most. He is in such a toxic environment. He needs people in his life that will tell him what he needs to hear instead of what he wants to hear. But I do love him. He's my brother. I do love him. And I do wish him the best. And I need him to know that if he continues on the path that he's on, that it's not going to be good. And that's from someone outside looking in. And I'm not the only one that sees it.
I think it says so much that regardless of everything that's been said about you, you don't respond with hate. You're not saying you hate him.
I don't hate him.
You actually are responding with love. You love your brother.
I do love my brother. I don't have to agree with him to love him. I don't have to condone what he says and does and go along with it, even if it makes me look like the bad guy to him. Just because I'm correct misinformation does not mean I'm standing there screaming at Fred, I hate you and I'm going to do this to spite you, because it's not out of spite. Because, somewhere along the lines, they seem to have forgot what the real focus of what they were doing was. And like I said, it's not Team Fred, it's not Team Andy, Team Karen, it's not Team anybody. It's Team Summer.
You want that job found?
I really do. I don't live on Beach Creek, and I haven't since I was 17. But that is my hometown community. There's a lot of people down there, good people, that I care for, that have been dragged through the mud and talk about their histories, their past, their mistakes that they have made in their life, regardless of how good they're doing now. That has absolutely nothing to do with the Summer Wells case and should never have been talked about, just like anything before. June the 15th, 2021, in my life has nothing to do with summer, but yet here we are. Just like with Glenda, with Bill, with Steve, with Marvin, with Cotton. I mean, my mom, my dad, anybody that has been brought up from that community, it should never have happened. I mean, that everything that has been said and done from that channel has completely shifted everybody's focus off into the weeds and caused so much confusion over things that shouldn't even be a conversation.
And not just confusion, it obviously hurts people.
You sound like Jody Sue to me here, Karen, and I'm going to show you why. Any good human who wants Summer found would have nothing to hide if they're not guilty, in my opinion. I shared this the other day, and this man from the TBI, actually, I found a whole different video. Oh, that's from D. No, I'm good. Disagrees with you deeply.
We don't have the evidence in this case to know for sure whether or not Summer was abducted or whether or not she walked away from her home and became lost. It's really important to us to not focus all of our efforts on just one of those two. We think that the only way we'll be successful in finding Summer is to continue to walk down both of those investigative paths to ensure that we don't become focused on one area alone and miss something that's crucially important. I would say this case has not gone cold. A cold case is typically framed up as a case where there are no tips or leads that are coming in and there are no investigative efforts that are happening because there is no place to travel with the investigation. I would say in this case, thanks to the public, we've continued to have tips and leads that have come in that agents have been able to follow up on continuously. And the agents have worked tirelessly when tips and leads weren't coming in to try to find ways to investigate when typically people would lay down their effort. It has been a great partnership between the community and law enforcement to not let this case sit and go sterile. We continue to focus on ground search efforts. We continue to focus on interviews of those who may have information about vehicles that have traveled through the area or technology that could have been used that may give us an investigative lead. All stones are being turned over. There's not one thing that's being done. We've been extremely creative as we've investigated this case and continue to try to find ways to turn over rocks that we didn't even know that were there to turn over. Children are our top priority at TBI. They are the most vulnerable population that we have. They're our most precious things in our world. TBI has always placed an emphasis on missing children. We've done that through multiple programs that are established here. We look for children when most people aren't. And this case is one that we've just not been able to overcome, and it's troubling. Many people have speculated what they think has happened in this case. The difficult part of the speculation is that if we as investigators speculate and focus our efforts in one direction, we're making a huge mistake. We have to make sure that we're being completely comprehensive as we investigate. And being focused in one direction is a tragedy for an investigation. So until we find evidence that points us in a direction that we know is the right direction, we'll continue to be comprehensive. We'll continue to explore every option that can be out there, and we would continue to ask for the public's help in doing so. Typically, we have a couple of agents assigned to an investigation, and that's been enough. We've had.
There's a much longer interview this man did. I've showed it. I'm going to show it again soon. One day. I like this guy and I believe him. He came out here. Leslie Earhart disappeared for a little bit of time. He came out here and he told us he wants our help. He wants the public's help. That they've gotten new leads in Summer's case because of the public's help. It's funny to me that the locals around there say, please leave us alone. We don't want to help. That's what it sounds like when they say things to me that Karen Elliott just said, like, we're done. Don't ask us no questions. There's nothing else to see here. Bullshit. No stone left unturned. And if you care about Summer, you would feel that way too, in my opinion.
She's gave Fred gas money. She's gave Fred cigarettes. She has gave Fred food. She's fed him. A lot of people have helped Fred in one manner or another in a lot of ways. And every single one of them, he's wiped his ass with them.
And it's impacted your daily life.
Oh, it has.
Stress, anxiety,
Yes.
fear.
Well,
Afraid?
I mean, I'm not afraid of Fred,
Okay.
but I know what the possibilities could be. And it has caused a lot of stress on me. I mean, I had a heart attack because of this bullshit.
You had a heart attack.
Yes, I did. October of 24.
Okay. Yeah, that's stress.
Yeah.
Well, I think this interview is one that we wanted to do more than any other because we know how this is affecting your life.
Mhm.
And it's impacting a lot of people in the community, like you said, but your life, because you're so close to Fred and you have more emotions surrounding him and his relationships and what he's doing. Jen and I appreciate so much that you're willing to do this today and go into so much detail and share a lot of hard things that you've shared today. So
I just don't understand why he has been hyper focused on me and targeted me to the extreme that he has and said the things, the lies that he's told, the stories he's made up. I mean, look how he talks about his mom and his dad. And our life wasn't a cakewalk. But out of all three of us kids, Fred benefited more from mom and dad. They did more for him than he did anybody.
Yeah.
And me and Julie combined helped them do more for Fred. There's nothing there to be jealous of. You can't be jealous of a taker when you're the one doing all the giving. You know, they have to have something that you would want in return for you to be jealous of them or their life or any aspect of it. So that's not even a possibility. Fred blames mom for how his life ended up. And mom was at fault to a degree, but only in the aspect of she was always fixing Fred's problems, helping him, giving him what he needed, not ever saying no till it got to the point that she wasn't allowed to say no. Fred don't understand that if mom had control over him, it's because he handed it to her. Do I have any say-so in your life, Ryan? Do I pay your bills? Do I do anything? Do you receive anything from me?
No.
Okay, so that means my opinion don't mean shit, right? Okay.
That's not true. Her mother and her other sister, one of them had conservatorship. They had control over Fred's money for a very long time. So I don't know why she's saying this because she told me that, and I believe she also said it on 6 Ups. I have to look. I actually finished this before my daughter got here. I'm proud. We're just about done here. 2 more minutes.
But if I was paying your bills, paying your house payment, paying your car payment, your insurance, buying your groceries, I would have pretty much every right in the world to have an opinion in whatever the fuck you were doing, right? If I was having to fund it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the relationship between mom and Fred. If she was funding every aspect in his life, she felt like she had an opinion and a right to have one, justifiably so. But yet Fred doesn't see it that way.
I want to say this before we close up.
But she didn't fund Fred. She got Fred's Social Security check and she had his car insurance money and she ran his finances. Fred has a right to say whatever he wants. He should have bank statements as to where his money went at that time. Don't you think, Karen? I must disagree with you here.
Number one, if I believed in reincarnation, I would want to come back as a Southern woman's son.
Yep.
Because every Southern woman dotes over their sons. And every Southern woman's daughters dote after the son.
Yep.
That's my 2 children.
Yeah.
So, Zeke, you can say whatever the fuck you want to. Fred was a well-kept man.
He sure was.
And you ain't got
some witchcraft shit. That was fucking odd. Who said that? That wasn't Karen. Was that Nana? They were talking about Nana. So, Nana, you believe in witchcraft shit?
Believe in reincarnation. I would want to come back as a Southern woman's son.
Yeah.
Because every Southern woman dotes over their sons. And every Southern woman's daughters dote after their sons.
Yeah.
As my two children.
Yeah.
So, Z, you can say whatever the fuck you want to. Fred was a well-kept man.
He sure was.
And you ain't got shit on nobody.
I guess to close, I don't want to close without you getting anything off your chest that you want to be able to get off your chest. So any final words, anything at all?
At this point, I don't even.
Fred was a well-kept man. No, Fred was on meth. And if you've seen the video that Ziggy did, you could see a picture of him. He was filthy. Nobody would even help the man get a fucking bath. Fuck you mean he was a well-kept man? I must disagree with that one, Nana. And what you just told us was that you've known Fred for a long time. How would you know that? Was you there? That is fucking odd to me. Weird. What a weird comment coming from somebody who doesn't know Fred. Nana. A local.
What else to say? Except they need to stop. They can do whatever they want, but they need to stop with the lies and stories and the made up bullcrap and just constantly dragging somebody through the mud. Because it's not just me, it's been a multitude of people. And it's all bullshit.
Jen and I both want to thank you for taking the time. And I know we took you to really emotional places today, and I know it's hard. So thank you for being willing to do this with us today. And we are praying for you and hope for the best for you in your life. And I hope this stops.
I hope it does too.
So thank you.
Thank you both.
Love you, girl.
Love you too.
That's it. Right. That's what I'm saying, Kylie. What the hell was that comment? Especially when they were collecting Fred's money and just giving him his own money. So odd. Everything's about money on this earth, even with family members. I think everybody's family has problems like that, but this is public. All right, guys. I finished the Glenda and the Karen. Yay, me. We have to finish. Ziggy has this 6-hour live. I didn't get very far with it. Hold on, let me put the tab back up here. I'll close these out before I go. And I'm going to look for this horse video that I made, or the James Light clips, one or the other. That'll be tonight. I'm hoping just to keep it 2 hours or less tonight. I've been on a lot the last 3 days. I feel like I'm overdoing it. All right, guys. Pez amore, peace and love. I'll see you later. Bye.